What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I am so sorry. You guys here, I'm still under the weather, but I definitely wanted to go live. I just got through finishing up work, had to get situated, had to throw in some a shower and some Vicks. Y'all, Vicks Vapor Rub still works, okay? I see why my kids hated it. Um, I just want to thank you all for being patient with me. As you guys can see here, I'm yeah, still not 100% there, but thank you all so much for being patient with me. We got Coal Obsidian. She get leaks, but I didn't think it was ladylike to discuss it. Yeah. Candace is something else, y'all. Y'all welcome on in. Happy Friday. It's the end of the week. We made it. Thank God. I thought I would wake up today and feel like 1,000 times better. And it's almost like a little bit worse. The weather is changing. Oh, Jesus. How you guys doing? I apologize once again for my lateness. I pushed it back to 8:30, and of course, it hadn't been too long. Finish up with work, and had to take something to try to, not sound so nasally and congested with you all. So I apologize for my lateness, but we are here, and I want to thank all of you for support and for tuning in. Um, we're gonna get started in a few minutes. Just want to give opportunity and time for this notification to get out to everyone. Apologies for my lateness. While we wait, I am definitely going to go through some of these comments. Hopefully, you guys had a good week. Thanksgiving is around the corner. Thank goodness. I'm just ready to sleep in, y'all. I'm ready to sleep in. I can't lie. Holidays for me is like, uh, sleep in. I appreciate all of y'all, and not even too long because I mean, even with me having teenage kids, you know, you never really get sleep anymore when you become a parent. It's like a foreign concept. It's like sleep. What's that? You always worried about what's going on with your children. So, thank you all so much. I appreciate you all. Sweet D, what's going on, new member? Thank you so much for becoming a member here in the LLC. I've got to schedule a members only live stream. Hopefully, I can get it in Sunday. So we're only doing one live tonight, but we're gonna make this a good one. And I found a video clip, you all. That I'm gonna start off with before we get into Milk Bar and then into the full CNN watch party with Candace Owens, where we already know she's humiliated herself so bad. Candace, may you be clowned for days for doing that interview. No one told you to do it. You chose to do it, girl. But thank you. Shout out to Sweet D for becoming a member. And then you guys see I was trying to adjust the time. Now there's a double broadcast going on from StreamYard. We can also broadcast from a vertical and then a horizontal view. So if you see two lives, that's what it is. Um, it's a new feature here, and they have some kinks to work out because I was hearing double sound in my intro. But if you see the two lives, that's what it is. It's one is in horizontal view and one is in vertical view, and it counts as two separate live streams. So if I put in comments, it's gonna come up twice. Does it make sense? Oh, what's going on? Like number two, yeah, hit the like button coming in. Let's get some people up in here. Let's get this live stream stacked up because I can guarantee you with this first video, you're gonna walk away from it and be like, "Oh my god," which is what I said. That's what I said. What's going on, Mister? Like number two, I appreciate you. Hi, Francisca. How you doing over there? How's it in the UK? Is it cold over there? What's going on? She said, "Oh, I am early. Happy Saturday, or is it still Friday in the US?" Oh, it's still Friday. It's still Friday. It is 8:47 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. On the eastern border here. So there's some of this in different time zones, but yep, still Friday. Look, I don't look. I can't miss a night. I gotta sleep in more. Oh man, Francisca is in the UK. Shout out to the UK. It's UK is 1:26 a.m. Saturday morning. You hanging out with me at 1:26 in the morning, girl. Thank you, Francisca. Y'all shout out to Francisca for hanging up late at 1:30 in the morning with the Lady Luck Club. That's a blessing. Thank you so much. Y'all make sure you hit the like button, come again. Let's get the views up and keep these videos up in the algorithm because we're putting out some great content here. I was checking out Cherie Denise and part of JWhit podcast, my brother in Christ. Shout out to him. And Cherie Denise was going over one of the lawsuits that we covered here in the LLC regarding the apartment complex. And I say, you know what? I'm so glad people are getting hip to how to go about maneuvering with Candace, because when it comes to lawyers like her, the only thing that can really refute her is the truth. And what she can't deny is what's in court documents. So, Candace, you're welcome. I hope them yeast infections are treating you well, girl. Yeah, you can't make this stuff up. Oh man, does she really have leaks in the FBI, or is it emulated fibbing? You know what? She said, I have leaks. It was a question about, do you have any evidence from the FBI, proving that the texts were, made up and fabricated by the FBI? She said, I have my leaks. Let me tell you something, Candace. You can sit here and play word salad and semantics all you want, but it's not going to matter if it comes down to a court of law and a jury and what the average reasonable person deduced out of your statement. Someone asks you about any evidence from the FBI and you immediately answer, oh, I have leaks. The average reasonable person is going to conclude that you have leaks in the FBI, seeing that was the subject of the question. So don't play word games and semantics here. That'll get you effed up in court. And it doesn't work with judges. They don't like that. It's irritating and it's demeaning to them. So I suggest you not go to these hearings that are going to start with the Macron case soon, talking about word salads and semantics and man versus male and all this other nonsense. Judge Rennie will go off on you and probably have your attorneys hush you up. And it'll be glorious. So if she says that, if she's lying about it, she could possibly face more penalties for it. Don't know why the FBI has not even investigated her for interference, let alone, insinuating that she has leaks within the FBI. That puts the agency in, a precarious situation, and those agents' jobs on the line. Plus, don't you think that the FBI would want to talk to you, Candace? Are you saying that so that you can be invoked into this case? It's like she wants to be a witness or something. It's like she wants to be involved on that level. And it's like, no, you have no idea what you're getting yourself into, girl. You don't know how court works. So she's crazy. Candace needs to get lost. Yeah. Oh, pity there isn't a maze big and dense enough for her to get lost in. I know. What's going on, Laura? Yeah, it is Laura's birthday today. Shout out to my mod, Laura. Happy birthday to you. I am so sorry I don't feel like optimal 100%, but we're going to play the birthday song. We're going to do it at the end. So hopefully you are able to tune in because I want to end out on it. It's always so much fun. But shout out to Laura, to my mod. Happy birthday to you. We love you here in the Lady Luck Club, and it is a blessing to live to see another year. And I hope you've had a great day and celebrated your day the way it should be celebrated. So y'all make sure you hit the like button in honor of Laura's birthday today. Hit the like button, engage in the chat. Everybody speak to everybody, because that's how we do it here. Let's get some more. Are we a go? Yep, we are now. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry about being late, y'all. Ground control to Major Tom. Major Tom is a junkie. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, man. It is Laura's birthday, y'all. Shout out to Laura. Take care of yourself, LLC. I will. What's going on, Candia? Happy birthday, Laura. I will, Candia. What's going on? How you doing? Shout out to my mod. Another fantastic mod here in the LLC. Poetry Princess. What's going on? How you doing? We see some new people up in here. Tina's up in here. Shout out to you from JWhit podcast, my brother in Christ. Tina is also a mod over there, JWhit. I am too, but I try my best to, give him a shout out, say hey, come in the chat. while I'm still working, listening in the background. So he had a fantastic live. He does some Jeopardy something. I just because I always tune in late, I never catch the full gist of it. So I'm gonna have to go back and watch the whole thing just to see how he doing this Jeopardy game. It sounds fun. Shout out to you, big bro. Um, let's see here. I want to make sure I just get what's going on. Is it Boo Billions? Hope you get better soon. Keep up the good work. Oh man, you guys are in for a treat. Thank you so much. I'm trying my best. We got on the VIX, y'all. Laura giving us a $10 super for her birthday. It's my birthday. Oh man, shout out to you. We have a $25 goal. Sometimes we meet it, sometimes we don't. But if you guys would like to donate to the channel, feel free. By all means, feel free. And it does support, great content here in the channel and goes towards the expenses of the channel. So thank you so much for the $10 super on your birthday, girl. Wait till Lady Luck Club really, really blow up. When I'll be able to give out, money to, especially to the mods here. You guys, they're volunteer and they don't have to do it, but they do, and I appreciate it. It's a blessing. It really is. And I want to thank you all for support. Truth, what's going on? Everybody, y'all ready? I just wanted to get some comments in. Is they here? Hey Eddie, how you doing? And we got a lot of new people up in here. S Files, I see you. Let's see. Oh, this is Mitt. What's going on? We got some new folks up in here. The Nerve Ensemble, how you doing? Wyoming Gal, what goes on? What's going on? How you doing? What bothers me is she thinks Charlie Kirk didn't know how to stand up for himself. He seemed to be very capable of not being manipulated by others. Exactly. She thinks she controls him. Candace Owens thinks that she controls Charlie Kirk and any and everything involved with him. Like, his money, his revenue, donors, sponsors, obviously his marriage, because she wants to be his wife. Like, the only thing she doesn't talk about is his kids. But she literally thinks she gets to control anything concerning him or this investigation. And no, Candace, you have no power, girl. None. When you don't know laws and you don't know how court works, everything you do is laughable to me. And you can take that how you want. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, there's something going on. Shout out to my mom's Wyoming gal. Saint, what's going on, Saint? I hope you do good. I haven't checked my email yet, y'all. I'm trying to see if did they ever email me back. Oh, yeah, and make sure you guys check out Andrea Burkhart. She posted up on her Substack, and we did and she's posting up all the court documents related to the case. So we were able to get some of the court docs from her Substack. So shout out to her. Shout out to her. Let's see here. Yo, we got something we got to watch. And it's an oldie, but it's a goodie. And I noticed something here. Hold on. I noticed something here, and I said, this is weird. So this is from TRT World Now. Put a one in the chat if you all recognize this lady. Y'all remember this video here. Put a one in the chat if you all remember this. This whole video, this little clip went viral. It's like a minute, 9 seconds long. It went viral back in 2020. Put a one in the chat if you remember this video. Because I just want to kind of ease you all into this. So if you guys remember this video, especially with it going viral, put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. I'm thriving and surviving. I eat, girl. Good times. What's up, peeps? How you doing, Lambert? What's going on? Make sure we getting everybody in that we can get in. Shout out to all my moms here. Happy birthday, Laura. We love you, dear. And we'll get the birthday song in at the end. We're going to close out on celebrating Laura's birthday here. Andrea Burkhart is super smart. Yes, and she's an attorney, which is fantastic because she's able to give a thorough breakdown of these court documents. And I'm not an attorney, so I watch attorneys. I watched Nate the lawyer. I watched, uh, the attorney that reacts. Um, Andrea Burkhardt's breaking down these court docs pertaining to this case. You know, we watch what's this the attorney, the metal heavy metal lawyer that has been over on JWhit podcast as a guest. I watch him. So there are a few attorneys. April is April Chapman an attorney? She's a great content creator, but I don't know if she's an attorney. Maybe I'm thinking someone else. But there are a few attorneys that I watch that will do a fantastic breakdown of court documents, you all. And so make sure you guys tune in. Long Crime Network, LawTube. Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love true crime as well. It helps me to learn and understand more about the law, interrogation tactics, and those types of things. So, it's kind of like, my little weakness. If I'm not doing a live or, supporting other fellow content creators, I'm watching true crime. That's my go-to, y'all. So let's get to it. Some of y'all put a one in the chat. You all remember this here. This lady is supposed to be an evangelist here. I think it's Paula White. Isn't her name Paula White? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Strike and strike and strike and strike and.
Yeah. Y'all let me know if you remember. I think her name is Paula White. Yep. Her name is Paula White. This was 5 years ago, y'all. This one video has got over 455,000 views, but there are other videos that went super, super viral. We're going to check this out. And I want you all to pay attention to around the 1 minute, 5 second mark. Okay. Just keep your eyes peeled on the video. You're going to see it expand out, and then you're going to see someone walk across. And I want y'all to tell me who that is. So put a one in the chat if you can see it here. Let's get to it. Hold on, let me go back.
Strike and 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 strike until you have victory. For every enemy that is aligned against you, let there be that we would strike the ground, for you will give us victory, God. I hear a sound of abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of shouting and singing. I hear a sound of victory. I hear a sound of an abundance of rain. I hear a sound of victory. The Lord.
I want to be clear on this. I am not a fan of Paula White. I think she's just another, con artist, televangelist, and it's not hard to recognize. I grew up raised by my grandmother. She used to, watch TBN all the time, and that's when I started realizing a lot of these so-called televangelists were crooks, like David E. Taylor, who's been indicted for having a cult. Yeah. So unfortunately, you have people like Paula White that literally make Christianity look bad. And that I'm not going to ever agree when you do something outside of the word of God. I don't care what you profess to call yourself. Does not mean that you were chosen just because you think you were called. And that is biblically aligned. Many are called, few are chosen. So Paula White might think she was called, but I don't discern that she was chosen. And that's just me.
Says it is done, for I hear victory, 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 victory in the corridors of heaven, in the corridors of heaven, victory, 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 victory. For angels are being released right now. Angels are being dispatched right now. Hamanda aka ata raka teda baka sata ata ambo osa kata rite eke banda ata rike didi ashata. For angels have even been dispatched from Africa right now. Africa right now. Africa right now. From Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here. In the name of Jesus, from South America. They're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. I hear the sound of victory.
Pause. Yeah, who's that at the bottom? Who's that at the bottom that just came into view? Who's this at the bottom? Y'all recognize this person? Y'all know who this is? Who y'all think that might be? Candace, let me tell you something right now, you heifer. I am the queen of this. I am good at what I do, girl. When it comes to independent journalism, I am the queen of this. I want this video to go viral. My whole live stream to go viral. You understand? Because there are so many things that are wrong with this. Considering the fact that Candace Owens did a live show today, or a new video today, blaming Christians for Charlie Kirk's death. And this heifer is down here in Paula White's church, flailing her arms around, saying words. And we're hearing Paula White speak gibberish. That's not speaking in a holy tongue. Do you all see? Listen, Candace. I just want you to know, Candace. I'm the first one to sit here and go over your lawsuits in great detail, because I want people to see your pattern of behavior and how bad you suck in court. To see how bad you are at what you consider to be investigative reporting, because you're not good at it at all. And then you mock Christians. And you say that Christians are involved in Charlie Kirk's death when you yourself profess to be a Catholic. Isn't a Catholic still a Christian? But before we get to that point, this is 5 years ago. This is Paula White's church. This is not a Catholic church here. What is this, Protestant? I don't even know what this is. Kojic? And who's walking down here at the bottom? Flailing her arms around again? After hearing Paula White speak gibberish, talking about angels coming from Africa as if angels come from Africa. The Holy Spirit dwells with us wherever we are. But, I mean, would that be the only continent that, an angel could come down from heaven to earth to visit? Why wouldn't an angel just come straight to the U.S.? There's so much wrong with what Paula White is doing. Speaking gibberish and fake holy tongue or whatever. No, because none of this is biblically aligned either. But that's a discussion for another day. But let's go back to this.
Dispatch from Africa right now, Africa right now, Africa right now, from Africa right now. They're coming here. They're coming here in the name of Jesus. From South America, they're coming here. They're coming here. They're coming here. I hear the sound of victory.
What's she doing? Yeah, I gotta slow this down. We got to slow this down. Candace, what are you doing? Y'all tell me who that looked like, for real. I'm curious. Because the way I see it, this is Candace Owens. Her head, her little skinny arms, her facial features, facial structure. It's Candace Owens to me. Because Candace too can play this game while you want to sit here and attack any and everybody. Yeah, we can look at this video and just make a reasonable deduction that this is you. Flailing your arms around in what? A Kojic church? My eyes does not deceive me, Candace. However, your words are deceiving. Unbelievable for you to try to even utter any words that insinuate Christians being responsible for Charlie Kirk's death. When you are a Catholic, and here's you flailing about in a church where Paula White is not speaking in a true holy tongue. What God are they praying to? This is you, Candace.
I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory. I hear the...
What were you doing, Candace? I'm gonna mute it. I just, because you can't make this stuff up. I'm going to slow it down some more. It's the slowest speed I can get it. Candace, what are you doing? This is laughable to me. I had to turn the sound off because I don't know what they praying to or who they praying to. Yo, who is that? Candace. Candace, what are you doing? What the heck are you doing, Candace? All of this is, yes, thank you, Owens. Very performative. What is she? Is she casting away the communistic bees? Candace, you can't make this up. Observation, what's going on? Paul is such a fraud. It's all documented by prophetic news channels. Oh, yeah, she's definitely a fraud. Thing is, she's been a fraud for years. You can't make this up. She dancing like Big Mike. Y'all, Candace, what are you doing?
Here. I hear the
Candace,
sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory.
I hope somebody takes this and they clear it up and they blow it up and get rid of the pixels and all of that, and we can have a clear shot, because I don't have the technology to do that, like the software to do that. But if anyone is out there listening, please take this video and clear it up so we can see, plain and simple. This looks like Candace Owens to me. This looks like Candace Owens to me. You can't make this up.
I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound of victory.
Is she saying victory too? What is she saying? Y'all. It's her. This is in 2020. This was a prayer with Trump's evangelical spiritual advisor. Prays for his re-election. That's the title of the video. Let me send you all the link. Let me drop the link in the chat. Shout out to TRT World Now. This is on their channel. I don't know how they feel about Paula White, but I'm going to tell you right now, she's a fraud. And that's it. It's a false prophet. Y'all, you can't make this up. No Jews were harmed in the making of this video. I know, right? What's going on, Beck? How you doing? Y'all, observation said it's up. Said, what year is that? 2020. Okay, I shared it with JWhit. Oh, yes, thank you. Thank you. Because maybe he can see this and she's learning the craft. What's going on, MB? What's going on, CC? Yeah, do y'all see what the heck did I walk in on? Candace, up here praying. Now, this is the same man that she's now saying she's embarrassed that she supported because, Israel. You don't have to like agree with everything he says and does, but here you are, Candace, flailing about.
I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound.
Why are you down in the front, Candace? What does the waving of the hands like this and the walking back and forth, how does that get that prayer to God any faster? I don't even know what God they praying to. I'm gonna be honest. When I hear someone speaking a false tongue, you're not praying to the one true and living God, Jesus. You're not praying to them. God the Father, Son, or the Holy Ghost. You ain't praying none of them. Candace is walking around here flailing about, y'all. You can't make this up. Isn't this her little Peabody head with this ponytail she always have wearing? The same old sloped up head. And now she acts like she can't stand Trump. But she humiliated herself in this because this woman is not speaking a holy tongue. She's talking about angels from Africa. And Candace is just co-signing it, flailing about down here at the bottom. Wouldn't she have been a Catholic by then? Wasn't she married in 2020? Yeah, you can't make this up. Yeah. Did y'all, was she a Catholic before she got married? I don't think so, Francisca. I don't think so. Y'all, this is Candace. This is Candace Amber Owens Farmer down here, flailing around, praying that Trump won a re-election, speaking in some tongue that is not biblically based. You can't make this up. One more time, then we're gonna get to the next video with Milk Bar. Because this is just funny to me.
I hear the sound of victory. I hear the sound
yeah. Yeah.
of victory. I hear the sound.
You can't make that stuff up. I tell y'all right now, this is wild to me. That's crazy. That is crazy. We got this new MilkBarTV. Y'all, so we Candace, you're flailing around and now you want to sit here and blame Christians for Charlie Kirk's death. But you sitting here flailing around praying to some God that Trump won an election. What God are you praying to again, girl? And then wouldn't you still be a Christian if you're Catholic? This is gold. I know, right? That is liquid gold. See, Candace, this is what happens when you sit here and try to insinuate Christians. Because, see, I'm a Christian. And you're making many, many things and groups of people look bad. You make Catholics look bad. You're making Christian who are Catholics look bad. You're making Black women look bad. Women look bad. You claim to be an independent or investigative journalist. I will not give you that credit because you don't even know how to vet your tips. And for those that keep sending her those tips where it is the most wackiest of the wackiest of all things, keep at it. Keep trolling her because she's not vetting those tips at all. Candace, this is what you get when you don't know how to vet a tip. And you just take whatever someone says and you read it with no corroborating evidence. You don't even know if you're being trolled. So keep at it. This is what happens when you sit here and attack whole groups of people and then you want to lie and say that everybody is involved in one civilian death. You don't think people gonna troll you, girl? You're not that smart, Candace. You can't make this up. So that was Candace. From my viewpoint and my stance, that looked like Candace Owens to me. Praying with Paula White while she's speaking a false tongue, flailing her arms around, speaking gibberish for Trump to win a re-election in 2020. You can't make that stuff. Y'all, if you had not seen that video, would y'all have believed me if I just said that was a video that existed? If you had not seen it for yourselves, would you have ever believed me if I would have just said, hey, there was a video out there with her running around the church when she thought she was a Christian 5 years ago? You can't make this up. All right, y'all, let's get to Milk Bar. And then we're going to get to this infamous CNN interview. I want y'all to keep that in mind as you watch her in this video and in the CNN video with her flailing around, throwing her arms in the air while she prays to some God that is not the same God that we serve, that true Christians serve anyway, because it can't be. Because, see, Candace, you can't serve the God that I serve when you lie like it's breathing air. We have 10 commandments we follow here. One of them being, thou shalt not lie. I don't know why you think that's okay to do. But, Judgment Day is going to be a rude awakening for her. All right, y'all. Shout out to MilkBarTV. Make sure you guys check out his channel, his great content. Go over and subscribe if you're enjoying the content he's putting out. We saw an interview he did with Treehouse early up this week, I think, and it was absolutely amazing. Hopefully, they can post the full interview up because I would love to see the whole interview. If you guys have the entire interview somewhere, please send it to me and we'll check it out. But in the meantime, this is his new video he posted yesterday, and I just love Milk Bar TV. So we're gonna check this out. This is did Candace Owens implicate Erica Kirk in Charlie Kirk's assassination? Because this has been a hot topic because Ben Shapiro confronted Megyn Kelly, who's absolutely scared of Candace Owens, as if she has no spine. Megyn Kelly, you're a coward. You literally denied knowing this heifer, and that you two weren't friends, that you don't watch her show, and that you don't take in that type of content. You literally lied back to back to back to back. You lied more about knowing Candace Owens than Peter denying Jesus himself. Let that sink in for a moment. Peter denied Jesus 3 times. Megyn Kelly made 4 statements, and I'm not trying to compare Candace to Jesus at all. But the fact that they claim to be Christians and you're sitting here willing to lie that easily is disturbing to me. So, all right, shout out to Milk Bar. Let's get to it.
Realizing that nothing in Charlie's life was real. It's just something that keeps me up at night. Just nothing in his life was real. Like everyone's just like, oh, let's just move on. It's so crazy to want to figure out what happens. Let's just start issuing gag orders. And the way to honor him is to give money. I don't know. There's just something really sick and demonic about the entire thing.
It's looking to me like the apparent plan.
Does she not understand how gag orders work? Candace, you didn't even read the indictment. So I know you did not read that protection order or the pretrial pretrial and trial publicity order. Let me help you out because we went over the motion to amend. You would have to be a witness in order for that order to remotely apply to you. And you would have to be identified as a witness by either the prosecution or the defense. You don't get to just invoke yourself into it. But my challenge to you is, if you do want to be held by this order, then we can alert the prosecution, the state, to go ahead and file a motion for contempt and just get that on out the way. Because Lord knows you violated it. So either you want the punishment that comes with you being held by this order, or you need to stop invoking yourself in the order altogether and read it. Get your attorneys to read and explain it to you because you don't understand how law works either.
Was to assassinate Charlie Kirk, who had at long last faltered on the pro-Israel cause. Okay, his words, not mine. And then to stage a hostile takeover of his brand and of his legacy.
Turning Point USA, the conservative grassroots organization co-founded by Kirk, announcing his widow Erica will take over as the group's CEO.
There's 2 things happening here. There's a widow, and then there is the chairman and the CEO, and she has assumed that role, okay? So criticisms pertaining to anything at Turning Point USA that are being directed at Erica are fair. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving. But I'm starting to think that the assassination...
Y'all hear that? No exceptions to any of this. No exceptions to it. Shout out to all those coming in. Make sure you hit that like button coming in. We're checking out MilkBarTV as he debunks Candace. Because, she doesn't know how to give exceptions to these statements she's made, where she's implicating everyone in Turning Point USA, and then wants to conveniently forget that the CEO of Turning Point USA is now Erica Kirk. How can you separate her from the company when she is the CEO of the company, Candace Owens? Nothing you do makes sense. You lack logic. And it has the audacity to talk about I've been around. That can have many meanings, okay? You saying I've been around could have many, many meanings to that. You know, it's rumored that you've been around Andrew Tate in ways you should not have been. You want us to take that and run with it? We can now, girl. But you might want to be careful what you say when you talk about you've been around. What does that mean? What's going on, Yuck 2.0? How you doing, honey? Actually, what's going on? She said criticizing Erica is fair. Oh, yeah. She said you got to be able to. She even said when she was reacting to the interview Erica Kirk did with Jesse Waters, oh, see, here's where you have to draw the line between being the CEO and being a widow. Why should she have to draw the line between the two? Why can't you just stop lying about what's going on with Turning Point and stop insinuating everyone at Turning Point except her leaks? Except her leaks have something to do with Charlie Kirk's death. And if she wasn't getting the leaks, then everyone would be implicated. See, this is what the Goonie Goons over there at Turning Point that are sending Candace Owens information, this is what you got to remember. The moment you stop doing it, she will come after you. There's no loyalty amongst thieves and liars. So why feed the monkeys in the zoo in the first place if you know at some point it's going to catch up to you? Stop giving her information. You feel something is going wrong, legally or ethically speaking, become a whistleblower. But you don't owe Candace Owens any information. And the moment you don't do what she wants you to do, she's going to turn on you. And then she's going to immediately blame you. And then she's going to dox. And then she's going to send all the candy ass cult followers out there to come and cyber harass and cyber bully you until kingdom come. All because you stopped giving her information when you should have never done that in the first place. She could only be mad at the cameraman, but for so much because he did the right thing. He gave over the footage to the FBI. That's how it works. Candace is not above the rule of law. So all this information that she's alleging that that's being leaked out of Turning Point should have gone to the FBI. And if they needed protection, if they felt like they were reporting something that could come back on them, they could have said, I need to report this as a whistleblower. We have laws in place for a reason. But no, these thunkheads want to sit here and feed her information that she takes and twists out. And then wants to sit here and say that Erica Kirk has to learn the difference in between being a CEO and a widow. Soulless and
USA that are being directed at Erica are fair. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet.
Let me go back.
Okay.
As the group's CEO.
There's two things happening here. There's a widow, and then there is the chairman and the CEO, and she has assumed that role, okay? So criticisms pertaining to anything at Turning Point USA that are being directed at Erica are fair. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving. But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would.
Yeah. Who the king married and became the queen. Candace, I don't care what you claim to be. Masonry, whatever term you want to use. You are not the CEO. And that is something we can all be happy about. You're not the CEO of Turning Point. And you only worked there for 2 years. Why are you obsessing over it this bad? You're trying to destroy this man's company and legacy that he would not in a million years leave to you over his wife. You don't prioritize yourself in someone's life where you're prioritizing yourself over his own wife. After God, then his wife will come first. You're at the bottom of that totem pole, girl. Then he had 2 kids, two parents, siblings, friends. There are a whole lot of people that will go above you. What is the matter with you? This is what she's doing. She's trying to destroy Turning Point USA. And she's using people on the inside, these so-called leaks, to do it. Because the moment they stop cooperating with her, then she's going to turn on them too. Turning Point needs to stop doing this. It doesn't get you anywhere. If you're going to do things right, do it the right way. Go be a whistleblower. But this is insane. Let me go back a little bit, because you just can't make this up.
And of his legacy.
Turning Point USA, the conservative grassroots organization co-founded by Kirk, announcing his widow Erica will take over as the group's CEO.
There's two things happening here. There's a widow, and then there is the chairman and the CEO, and she has assumed that role. Okay, so criticisms pertaining to anything at Turning Point USA that are being directed at Erica are fair. Yeah, I'm putting the fire here right at the feet of Turning Point, because I am disgusted. I am genuinely disgusted. I am looking around and wondering.
Candace, that means that all the defamation lawsuits coming your way is fair too, because you make provable false statements with a reckless disregard of the truth. And yet you want to throw a tantrum or issue copyright strikes because someone used your video against you, or because you don't like the lawsuit because of reasons. You don't like criticism. You don't even read comments that ask you questions anymore because you know that you can't tell the truth to save your life. Where is the evidence to prove that you have 2 degrees? Because I'm just going to keep bringing that up every time I do a live about you. Every time I do a live show about Candace Owens, I'm going to say, where is the evidence to prove you have 2 degrees? You weren't even prepared to answer that simple question. And it didn't involve you having to talk about Turning Point USA. This is where we are in life, where Candace Owens has built a huge following and a platform based upon lies and accusations that have been hurtful, harmful, and damaging to others. You're stepping on people's backs to get to the top. But as fast as you've risen up that thing on ladder, your fall will be faster and land even harder. God don't like ugly.
Whether Charlie's entire life was the Truman Show. None of you guys are behaving in the way that you should be behaving. But I'm starting to think that the assassination of Charlie Kirk was something akin to a regicide, right? The assassination of a king to install a new ruler who the king would have never approved of.
He left me a blueprint.
Why would he not approve of his wife?
And all of his journals, but more so than that, I was his vault for literally everything. He shared everything with me, his vision, his dreams.
In the event of his untimely death, like, you know, he just, in the 3rd notebook, he was like, oh, and if I accidentally get shot on campus, here's what you should do. Call Erica, and then after you call Erica, come find this notebook. And in this notebook, you'll see that I am using adjectives like fantastic and heroic to describe Mikey McCoy.
My husband's chief of staff, the amazing Mikey McCoy.
Why are you doing that?
Why are you having an issue with that? You don't work there, Candace. You don't get to dictate how anyone describes someone. It's called free speech, you heifer. Free speech and expression. What's wrong with her calling one of her employees amazing? You don't have to like him. Don't nobody care what you think over there, girl. Erica Kirk wanted to call him amazing. And in her eyes, he's amazing. So what? But see, this is the thing. All this hostility you have about someone describing, you know, this young man who's like, what, 24, 25? Not even that. To be amazing when you don't know him. It's mighty funny. But when criticism comes your way, you want to cry like a petulant child in the candy store that can't get her favorite lollipop. And you got 4 kids. The audacity of you to act like a spoiled brat, Candace Owens. You're a brat. You're not entitled to have this much criticism when you have not worked for Turning Point in years. And you only worked there for 2 years. 2 years. I can't recall a job I had 10 years ago that I only worked at for 2 years. That I'm still sitting here obsessing over like this. Are you kidding me? What the hell is wrong with her? Yeah, you all remember that video of her flailing her arms around praying with Paula White. You can't make this
Why do
up.
I feel like you're trying to program me? And if during this process of our imagination, common sense comes on and we're like, but wait, Charlie, wasn't he like a boy genius? He's a pretty bright kid. Wouldn't he have maybe formalized that succession plan outside of like a diary? Maybe call one of his many lawyers?
No.
Maybe.
It's called the living will. And yes, that will be kept with the lawyers. Why would the diary take precedence over a living will that is notarized and oftentimes filed with an attorney? You don't think he had a living will and that his attorneys had a copy of it? Is it impossible for her to think that he may have given his company to his wife? Why's she finding that hard to believe? Oh, yeah, that's right. Candace, you're not his wife, girl. You were not his wife. He did not pick you.
Formalize it in a will, because that's what you're supposed to do. If you are thinking about dying and you need to make a plan, you make a will. I'm sure he had a will.
Yeah.
But no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks.
You can't say for sure. Where's the evidence to prove he didn't have one? Obviously, she has some level of evidence, documentation to prove he did not have a living will. She's saying, but no, as if she knows for a fact that he did not have a living will. You can't make this up. Look how easy it is for her to lie.
Supposed to do if you are thinking about dying and you need to make a plan, you make a will. I'm sure he had a will, but no, he wanted to put it in these notebooks. And then the plan was to guilt us, I think, to try to haunt us with the ghost of Charlie's notebooks that we're never going to be allowed to read, but we're supposed to.
No, you don't deserve, you're not entitled to reading them. And this is coming from the woman that claims that she sees the dead spirit of Charlie Kirk in her visions, where he's telling her everything except who shot him, simply because she doesn't believe that Tyler Robinson pulled the trigger. So somehow he's going to come into her vision and say, avenge me, and not tell her who shot him. And then you want to sit here and say he didn't have a will, he just put it in these notebooks? You're saying that as a point of fact. Why would you not arbitrarily assume that he had a living will and he had the money to actually have an attorney on retainment? Even if he didn't have it with an attorney, you can get a living will completed and done, notarized, and those that are named in it, that you've named as a successor or someone who will be over the estate regarding all your finances, your companies, everything else. And you could just give a copy of that to that person. So what if his wife had a copy of the living will? This is why Erica Kirk does not respond to her. Because Candace Owens says stupid things that makes no sense. His wife would know if her husband did a living will. And she would not be privileged to know that. You can't even get that. That's not public information. His living will would not be public information either. She is demanding to see things that she's not entitled to see. You're not privy to see that, Candace. Just like his medical records or the autopsy report or evidence from the FBI, you're not privy to see those things.
To accept that they most definitely read, like for sure. That's what it feels like. I am told that these people believe the official narrative. Lone shooter. No one else involved, just a crazy guy with too many pronouns in his bio.
To have seen the autopsy report, to have seen the different...
There you go right there. To have seen the autopsy report. See, Candace, that is the benefit to her being his wife. You think she wants to talk about her husband's autopsy report? She would rather her husband be alive. But only she would have access to that information because she was his wife. You were not. You really think she wants to be sitting here giving an interview talking about her husband in the past tense? Candace has no soul. And yet you're flailing around praying to some foreign god with Paula White in her church. You can't make that up.
evidence portions that have been collected. I trust our team.
hey, 1963 called and they want their narrative back. All that's missing from the story is a grassy knoll, right? Just need a grassy knoll.
She's disgusting.
Anyways, back at headquarters, I am told it's business as usual. And it's kind of giving me like, I don't know, LBJ when he gets sworn in that famous picture.
She has 0 degrees. Exactly.
Unfortunately, sworn in. Unfortunately, of course, he's sad in this photo. Gosh, he's obviously not wanting to be the president of the United States. JFK was shot and killed. And now LBJ has to step up, unfortunately.
Why would he not want to be? He ran as the vice president, you dingus. What do you mean? He would not want to be under those circumstances, but he understood being the vice president involves you becoming the president in the event the president passes away. And yet you're sitting here sending these types of posts talking about they all betrayed him. You didn't ever say one time except Erica Kirk. You're not even friends with her. You won't even invite her on your show. And yet you want to get upset because someone's stating all the statements you've made, all the posts you put out there will have the average reasonable viewer and reader of all these posts deduce that you are insinuating that Erica Kirk is involved in the murder of her husband. Because, Candace, if we put this to a jury in a civil proceeding, the burden would be a preponderance of the evidence. They would only need to be 51% convincing. How do you think that would turn out for you? You brainless moron. How do you think that will turn out for you? And yes, I'm calling her names because this is absurd. She's already insinuated all Christians now involved in the murder of Charlie Kirk. Why are you flailing around in Paula White's church?
But I gotta be honest, I wasn't there. I don't think LBJ was actually that upset. I don't know why. Vibes. The vibes just aren't vibing for me in that picture. But maybe he was.
God.
Maybe the truth is that LBJ simply,
she's so dumb,
to use an expression, had his wits about him. It becomes clearer and clearer. It just screams at me that this was an inside job, okay?
JWhit? Y'all.
Some motivation for Zion.
Can we give a shout out to MilkBarTV for putting that video together? He is absolutely epic and awesome. Shout out to you, MilkBarTV. I mean, just genius work. And I love the montages because it pulls in various videos and clips together, plus some of her posts and all of that, where she can't deny that if that video was put in front of a jury, well, she could deny it because she's a liar. But if you were to put that video in front of a jury, the majority of the people on that jury would assume and conclude that she is insinuating Erica Kirk to be involved. When you're speaking in these broad terms, accusing Turning Point USA, saying how, this was done, for him to give a successor, he didn't have a living will, as if she would know that. All these dumb things she's saying, none of it has any evidence to support it. And for whatever she wants to consider speculatory, it lacks logic and common sense. But the majority of the jury would come out and conclude, you're insinuating Erica Kirk to be involved in the murder of her husband. Period. You can't look at a montage, like a video like that, and then say you're not sure. When she never excludes Erica Kirk anytime she bashes Turning Point USA, knowing that she's not a CEO. You can't make this up. So, yeah, this is the CNN interview with Candace Owens. Are you guys ready for this? Because I am. I've not seen this in its entirety. I've even gone over a part of the clip where she talks about having leaks with the FBI. But I am so ready for this. So you guys put a 1 in the chat. You can see it here. Shout out to everybody that's tuning in. I appreciate you all support. 73 people watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I know it's a little late, but yeah, At to work early. What's going on? Get a clue at the Brandy Monica concert in South Carolina, but still tapped in for your live LLC. Shout out to you. Thank you so much. Get a clue. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Everybody wish Laura, my fantastic mom, a happy birthday. She's a fantastic mod up in here. Candia's up in here. Thank you, Candia, for dropping the YouTube channel link to MilkBarTV. Make sure you guys go check him out. He does great work. And I am still waiting for him to drop that full interview with Treehouse. That interview is something else. And it does tell a lot about, the true character and nature of Candace Owens. She's very sinister and dark. Candace, you're a very evil person. You put people's lives in danger for no reason. You send out these idle threats and then you get mad when people sue you for putting their lives in harm's way. You still have yet to denounce Nicholas Ray, a man who was listening to you and decided to send out online death threats to 3 or 4 Jewish conservatives. This is where we are. And I think one of you all sent me something where a man in Australia sent out a threat because he was listening to Candace Owens. Is that true? I want to make sure I quote that. She asking people to sue her. Exactly. That is so nice. Thank you all so much. Wishing Laura happy birthday. Candace doesn't care. Exactly. JWhit, you up in here? JWhit, did you know if there was an article or something on a young someone in Australia threatening somebody listening to Candace Owens? Clocking in from the kitchen sink. Oh, thank you for tuning in, honey. If that's true, good thing she is banned. Exactly. I think that's. Let me look that up right quick because I want to see that because this goes to show how dangerous she is. Man in Australia. I sure am looking this up right quick, you all. Thank y'all for tuning in and being patient with me. Okay, so I just see where she's been banned, but I'm trying to see if there's anything. I thought someone sent something to me saying that a man had been accused of issuing a threat under the influence, or he was influenced by Candace Owens. It was a synagogue. What? Candace, you're a whole cult leader now. You dumb demon. You can't make this stuff up. A synagogue in Australia, and this is Australia now, the country she was just banned from. You cannot make this up. And this is the stuff that, of course. Okay. Yep. New Zealand gunman. And this is in a synagogue in Melbourne. Hold on. You can't make this up. This is going back to July 25th. Y'all look at this. Look at this. Man charged over alleged arson attack on Melbourne synagogue with worshippers inside. Australia has experienced several anti-Semitic incidents since start of Israel-Gaza war. Let me put the article link in the chat. You can't make this up. This is so dangerous. This is how dangerous Candace is. And she sits here and wonders why they banned her. Why would you want to go over there? You don't even talk about anything going on in your own country, Candace. Why would you want to go over there? And now look what you've done. Australian police have charged a man in connection with an alleged arson attack on a Melbourne synagogue with worshippers inside the building. The latest in a series of incidents targeting the nation's Jewish community. This was back on July 6th of this year. 2025. And she wonders why they upheld that visa ban. Girl, if you don't kick rocks, they don't have to let you in that country. Candace, don't nobody owe you anything. You need to you're going to fall off that high horse the hard way since you refuse to get down on your own. Saying that she needs to get off this high horse, she ain't getting off. She's going to have to be thrown off. You can't make this up. There were no injuries to the 20 people inside the East Melbourne synagogue who fled from the fire on Friday night. Firefighters extinguished the blaze in the capital of Victoria State. Australia has experienced several anti-Semitic incidents since the start of the Israel-Gaza war in October 23. Counterterrorism detectives late on Saturday arrested a 34-year-old resident of Sydney, capital of neighboring New South Wales, charging him with offenses including criminal damage by fire. The man allegedly poured a flammable liquid on the front door of the building and set it on fire before fleeing the scene. I mean, you got these weird cult members that'll do stuff like this, but then run away because they don't want to get caught. Because they're too coward to go to jail. You can't make this up. This is horrible. The suspect, whom the authorities declined to identify, was remanded in custody after his case was heard at Melbourne Magistrates Court on Sunday, and no application was made for bail. The looks like ABC reported. You can't make this up here. And she wonders why she was banned. I'm trying to get to the part where she's connected to it. I mean, the fact that the Israel-Gaza war caused a lot of people to be targeted in various countries around the world. But her rhetoric doesn't help at all. It just doesn't. It's been elevated, if nothing else, to where now you have this Nicholas Ray guy charged with 12 counts that's now sitting in a prison, a jail in Florida for sending online death threats to 3 Jewish conservatives. Public figures at that. You can't make this up. All because he listened to Candace Owens and a neo-Nazi. This is insane. Then you have something back in 2019. This is from the New York Post. Right here. Conservative Candace Owens influenced me above all. You can't make this. New Zealand gunman. This is going back to 2019, March 15, 2019. Conservative commentator Candace Owens was the biggest influence on the white supremacists who slaughtered 49 worshippers in 2 New Zealand mosques, he claims in his rambling manifesto. Candace, this is what you are influencing people to do. You're influencing people to go out and slaughter people, to burn down synagogues and mosques. This is a mosque. It's like it's happening on both sides. It's either happening to a mosque or a synagogue. All because it's based on her shifting views and her rhetoric and nonsense that's not supported by evidence. At some point, she's going to have to be charged with just being a co-conspirator. I don't care. This is insane. Yes, the person that has influenced me above all was Candace Owens. Tarrant wrote in an answer to the question, is there a particular person that radicalized you the most? Each time she spoke, I was stunned by her insights, and her own views helped push me further and further into the belief of violence over meekness. Though I will have to disavow some of her beliefs, the extreme actions she calls for me are too much even for my taste. Owens responded in a series of tweets. Because of course she did. LOL, fact, I've never created any content espousing my views on the Second Amendment or Islam. The left pretending I inspired a mosque massacre in New Zealand because I believe Black America can do can do it without government handouts is the reachiest reach of all reaches. You talk like a child. Reachiest reach of all reaches. This girl talks like a 7-year-old. You know what? Let me not insult 7-year-olds because there are some 7-year-olds that are brighter than her. What the hell is this? Reachiest reach. It's like a dingy airhead, you know, that only likes to surf the waves and they don't read books or anything. Just airheadish. The reachiest reach of all reaches. Laugh out loud. That's not funny. 49 people lost their lives. They were slaughtered. 49 people. You're talking about laugh out loud? In another post, she wrote, to be clear, we played the Candace is Hitler game. We played the Candace is anti-rape victims game. If the media attempts this Candace inspired a mosque shooting in New Zealand bit, they better all lawyer the F up. I will go full Covington Catholic lawsuit. Try me. You know what? Go ahead for it, heifer. Because now you've got more people under your belt that have been influenced by you to send more online death threats. I just don't understand why these Jewish conservatives have not sued her already. What the hell is wrong with them? What Laura Loomer? You know, what's the other one? Josh Hammer? Y'all need to sue her. You see how it is when it comes to her in court. She sucks. She doesn't understand how laws work, and she doesn't win anything. She loses. And now she's trying to get out of the Macron lawsuit while she's lying to her cult following about not wanting the case to be dismissed, while she actually files a motion to dismiss twice. So she sucks when it comes to court. What are you scared of? And most of those 5.5 million subs over there are bots anyway. So I don't care. Candace, you are the worst. This should not be your sentiment when it comes to the loss of 49 lives. Because this person said they were influenced by you. They're white supremacists. What does that have to do with the left? What do you mean? He's a white supremacist who slaughtered 49 worshipers. What does that have to do with the left? Address the issue at hand. She puts laugh out loud. Reachiest reach of all reaches. Stupid shit. You can't make this stuff up. Oh, child. All right. Now, y'all see who we're dealing with, right? Y'all understand more and more who we're dealing with when we talk about Candace. This is who we're dealing with. This is it. This is who we're dealing with. Candace Owens and her nonsense. And she sits here and laugh out loud about it. Never mind the fact that she got a $37,000 settlement in high school because she accused some kids of calling her the N-word. This is the biggest grifter that I've ever researched and reported on. It's so deplorable and disgusting. All right, y'all, let's get back to this CNN interview. I just want to share that so you guys can see exactly who we're talking about here when we talk about Candace Owens now. She does not care about anything and anyone but herself. Very soulless. Soulless. 49 people lost their life, and she talking about reachiest reach of all reaches. Girl, bye, Felicia. All right, y'all, let's get to it. Put a 1 in the chat if you can see in here.
This cult still exists. That's what I'm telling you.
In our government.
At the higher up, yeah, absolutely.
Candace Owens has a lot of ideas about how the world really works. Her podcast is drawing millions of viewers for celebrity gossip and her theories about Charlie Kirk and Jeffrey Epstein. But some of those ideas are anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that I recognize from covering white nationalism for 10 years.
All right, guys, happy Monday. Happy Friday. Get ready because we are going on a journey.
This summer, you've had 3 heads of state respond to you.
Yeah.
Right? You've been sued by the president of France.
I have.
By your retelling, President Trump called you and asked you to lay off calling the president of France's wife a man so it could finish Ukraine negotiations.
Pick up the phone. It is President Donald J. Trump. He is calling me.
And then recently, the Prime Minister of Israel maybe indirectly responded to your and other claims that in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, he was distancing himself from Israel or softening in his support.
I would only dispute the last claim.
Okay.
I don't know what he was responding to, really.
We're talking to her now because she's having a huge impact on political.
Are you asking? I'm sorry. Kareem asking which lawsuit? So she claims Trump called her about the Macron lawsuit, told her to ease off, accusing the First Lady of France of being born a man with no scientific evidence. Is that what you're asking me, Kareem? Are you able to see the comments? I think others are answering too. It's regarding the Macron lawsuit. They're suing her. Yeah, okay. I don't know if they're getting my comment or not. If you can't hear, you probably have me on mute. All right, let's get back to it.
Political discourse. Powerful people are responding to her, and more people than ever are listening to her.
Candace Owens do be making sense.
Over the last month, she has at times been the #1 trending podcast, the fourth most popular news podcast.
I swear every time she has a podcast drop, I'm just like mind blown. Y'all may think Candace is crazy, but she's onto something.
For years, Owens was known mostly within conservative groups aimed at young people. Her first big job was with Turning Point in 2017. Last March, she was fired from the Daily Wire amid a dispute with colleagues over Israel and charges of anti-Semitism.
That's nice.
She launched her independent podcast a few months later, and her conspiratorial deep dives, where she sometimes builds guilt through association between very loosely connected people, companies, or whole countries, have drawn people deeper down the Candace rabbit hole.
We don't know, but we know, you know? We don't know, but we know.
Since Charlie Kirk's death, Owens has had some of her most popular episodes, as she's claimed law enforcement is covering up a conspiracy.
Rest now, brother. We have the watch.
Kirk's legacy has become a battleground for the fight within MAGA over Israel. Owens has been the principal driver of this story, with her claims that Kirk was angry about pressure he felt from pro-Israel allies and donors to disinvite Israel critics from his conferences.
You've talked about conflicts with donors.
They were threatening him. There's no other way to say it. And it's, I think, shameful that some of the Turning Point people don't.
How did they threaten him again? She didn't share any evidence or documentation to show that they threatened him. You're taking someone that may have had fair criticism about Israel. You know, that same criticism you think that all of Turning Point USA deserves now with no evidence either. And you're saying that he was threatened. Who threatened him and how, Candace Owens? Because let's not forget, Candace Owens is bad at journalism. She's not a journalist. Where's the evidence to show that Charlie Kirk was threatened by Jewish donors, the same Jewish donors that she is sending her candy-ass cult followers after to threaten and send online death threats to? Where's the evidence that he was threatened, and in what way? Because we didn't see any evidence of someone literally threatening him, where they said in any email or text or post, if you don't say or do this, we will do this to you. Because that's a threat, Candace. Your insinuation of them doing something is not a threat. You need to show evidence of a threat being made. We know that you and the candy ass followers don't like to read, but that would involve reading, girl.
Speak out more about it. We all know what was going on behind the scenes, and Charlie was being threatened financially. He felt he was being morally threatened. He felt they were trying to control who he could have speak at his conferences.
About 48 hours before Charlie Kirk died, Charlie informed people at Turning Point, as well as Jewish donors and a rabbi, that he had no choice but to abandon the pro-Israel cause outright. Did he also express that he wanted to bring me, Candace Owens, back because he was standing up for himself? And then did he, just 48 hours later, conveniently catch a bullet to the throat before our on-stage reunion could happen?
Owens posted group chat messages from Kirk saying a Jewish donor had pulled a $2 million donation, and he felt no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. Turning Point confirmed the texts were real and said Kirk disagreed with Owens on Israel. There's no evidence donors or Israel had anything to do with Kirk's death, and Owens has not claimed that Israel killed Kirk. But she has spent a lot of time talking about donors and Israel and betrayal in the context of his death.
So what are we to make of that?
When you say you believe that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by someone close to him, what do you mean?
I think that in the coming weeks, there's going to be a lot of financial reports that are coming out. And I, first and foremost, do not believe that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I want to be very clear on that. Whether he was involved, I think the answer
but no
is
evidence, though.
yes.
No evidence.
I think that's obvious.
And your basis for saying he didn't act alone is what?
I don't know, maybe the weird Fed messages that were concocted out of thin air that had no timestamp and were written like they were speaking in 1822, among other things. Their lack of an ability to answer any basic questions about what took place.
But do you have any proof that the messages were made up? Because that would be easily proven.
Yeah, but they didn't put timestamps on them, and Discord came out and said they didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
The indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, typing it out back and forth?
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone from like the FBI telling you that, or law enforcement?
Leaks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson has.
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides, from Lance to Robinson's family to federal government, and I am making the statement that those text messages were made up and that they did not come from Tyler Robinson.
Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
Because when we keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media?
Girl.
Like who are you expecting to come out?
Story.
No, it wouldn't be, because,
Doesn't she claim to have the evidence?
It wouldn't be.
If the FBI, if I had a source telling me, if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world, and we know how stories get shut down.
For years, some in MAGA believed there was a deep state cover-up protecting Jeffrey Epstein's powerful friends. In July, when the FBI said the case was over, suddenly it seemed to some supporters as if Trump wasn't fighting the cover-up, but was a part of it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Maybe recent events have changed this, but you said this summer that Epstein was your number one issue.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Epstein so important, especially in the MAGA world?
It's important because...
Did y'all catch what she said, that she had leaks?
See evidence of that.
Did y'all catch evidence?
You even off the record, yeah, we faked these.
I have very strong sources everywhere on both sides, from Lance to Robinson.
Hold on, I'm gonna go back.
They didn't exist.
This was supposedly text messages, not Discord messages. It's my understanding from the indictment.
She didn't read the indictment.
I actually did not read that they were text messages.
Because she didn't read the indictment at all. See, when you're doing journalism the right way, you have to be specific. You have to put your feelings aside, Candace, because facts don't care about how you feel. And be able to recite what is worded in the indictment itself. Something that is accessible to you. See, it's laughable to me that she wants evidence from the FBI, but when it comes to them dropping the indictment, which is available to the public, she doesn't even read that. And none of the candy asses are going to ask her, what school did you attend to obtain 2 degrees? And where's the evidence on that? They won't ask her about that. That would show some level of intelligence here. But yet and still, she didn't read the indictment, the one piece of document that is available to the public. They're not going to sit here and violate federal laws and release federal information regarding a federal investigation. release evidence that you're not entitled or privy to see? No, they're not going to do that. Absolutely not. Because as much as I want to see the autopsy report, I'm not privy to see it. That is personal identifiable medical information or health information. And it would be an invasion of his privacy, whether the patient is alive or deceased. To release the autopsy report without consent, that consent would come from next of kin, which would be his wife, Erica Kirk. Candace Owens is not entitled to a damn thing. This sense of entitlement that she has is only temporary because, Candace, all they have to do is charge your ass with obstruction and interference. You're talking about you have leaks in the FBI? Yeah, you're interfering with an open federal investigation.
Indictment calls them text messages.
What would it be like the feds are like on a computer, like typing it out back and forth?
That's exactly what it is. The feds made up the text messages.
But you don't have anyone
no
from
proof.
like, the FBI telling you that, or law
I have
enforcement?
leaks.
Okay.
I have leaks. You have leaks from the FBI. So that means whoever those leaks are should be fired and charged. And you should be indicted as a co-conspirator. You're getting information you're not entitled to receive. You're not privy to know. Absolutely deplorable. And what's out there, she's not reading. So how's that for the hypocrisy of it all?
Okay. Yeah. Has anyone leaked to you?
And Tyler Robinson
But has anyone said to you, even off the record, like, yeah, we faked these?
I have
she has
very strong sources everywhere on both sides, from Lance to Robinson's family to federal government, and I am making the statement that those text messages were made up and that they did not come from Tyler Robinson.
Okay.
Prove it. Where's your evidence? Candace, you're bad at this, and I want you to know it. This is the same little girl that was flailing her arms around in Paula White's church, trying to speak some foreign tongue or language of some sort, who now is embarrassed by supporting Trump, the same man she was praying won a re-election in 2020. That was you in Paula White's church.
Well, I look forward to seeing the evidence of that.
You can't make this
Because
stuff
when we
up.
keep talking about evidence, it's like, who's going to present that evidence? Like the mainstream media?
No, you would, heifer, because you're saying that they made up the text messages. You have leaks, so you would have to provide evidence to show how these text messages were forged. You would have to have proof, like a before and after. See, I shouldn't be giving you these tips on how to do this, because you should know how to do this, because you lied about having 2 degrees in journalism and English, 2 things you haven't mastered at all. And the candy asses won't ask her for proof of the 2 degrees. They just won't even ask her to show proof that she understands the English language, because it's the reachiest reach of all reaches.
Like, who are you expecting to come
a
out?
hot story.
No,
That would come
it
from
wouldn't
you,
be,
Ethel.
because,
It would be.
it wouldn't be.
If the FBI, like if I had a source telling me, like if I had proof that the FBI faked those messages, that would be an enormous story.
Yeah, I kind of feel like we live in a post-Epstein world, and we know how stories get shut down.
For years, someone...
She sounds like an airhead, because it's the reachiest reaches of our reaches, I just kind of feel like, in this post-Epstein world, things get shut down. That evidence will come from you. You got leaks inside a Turning Point. You got leaks in the FBI. Why are they not giving you documentation? Candace, why are they not giving you documentation again? Why aren't you producing recorded calls? Perhaps an interview with these so-called leaks. You can blur out their faces. Because this is something else here. That's interference in a federal investigation, by the way. You're literally subjecting these possible leaks, if they exist, to losing their jobs and being charged. You can't make this stuff up. This is how I know Candace doesn't know or respect the rule of law. She just doesn't.
MAGA believed there was a deep state cover-up protecting Jeffrey Epstein's powerful friends. In July, when the FBI said the case was over, Suddenly, it seemed to some supporters as if Trump wasn't fighting the cover-up, but was a part of it.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein?
Maybe recent events have changed this, but you said this summer that Epstein was your number one issue.
Mm-hmm.
Why is Epstein so important, especially in the MAGA world?
It's important because multiple people in Trump's administration came out and said, here's what we're going to do when we get into office. We're going to release everything about Epstein, and then we were gaslit about it.
Exactly.
And so it was this major sigh, this major letdown about the promises made and the promises that weren't kept. And this particular issue is a hot button issue because it involves children. This is not a guy who you have to imagine whether or not he was guilty. He pled guilty in a plea deal.
Stop. What does this have to do with the... Where are we at now? How do we get on Epstein here? What does Epstein have to do with you falsely accusing the FBI of forging leaks, of forging text messages?
Came out and said, here's what we're going to do when we get into office. We're going to release everything about Epstein, and then we were gaslit about it. And so it was this major sigh, this major letdown about the promises made and the promises that weren't kept. And this particular issue is a hot button issue because it involves children. This is not a guy who you have to imagine whether or not he was guilty. He pled guilty in a plea deal with Acosta.
Owens often claims that Epstein worked for Israeli intelligence, which a former prime minister of Israel has denied. It is yet another allegation that has been driving the internet MAGA fight over Israel. But the biggest story to do that, of course, is the war in Gaza. Over the last year, a majority of young Americans have turned against Israel over the war, including many conservatives. And Owens has drawn in viewers with criticism of that war. And some of it sounds reasonable, such as objecting to the scale of destruction and human suffering, especially children. But she brings with it conspiracy theories that have roots in dark places.
The issue of Israel is dividing the MAGA base.
I don't think it is anymore. I think we're actually quite united against Israel now. Not the politicians, but the people.
If you look at polls broadly, there is a really strong generational divide.
Yeah, I think Megan said it best when she said nobody under 30 likes Israel.
I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you can, we have different audiences, right? Help my audience understand how and why and in what way that issue is so important.
When people notice what you're doing and you gaslight people and tell them that it's not happening, and then you think that you can just finance and blackmail us into a new reality, it tends to upset people. Like, we're watching what's happening in Gaza, and you're going to keep telling us this is about October 7th, and that October 7th started on October 7th. And then when people say reasonable things, and this is kind of one of the last things that Charlie said, totally reasonable things, AIPAC should have to register under FARA, that I believe my own eyes of what's happening, and I have questions about this. And your response to that is to smear and to libel and to try to ruin people's lives. Then you shouldn't be surprised when people look at you like what you are, which is demonic.
And what do you think is happening in Gaza?
And yet, Candace, you have no quarrels with lying like hell. And it's so easy for you. Where's the evidence to prove that you have leaks within the FBI? Or the evidence to prove you have 2 degrees? Or the evidence to prove that you have leaks in Turning Point? Or the evidence that Tyler Robinson was not the shooter when he confessed to it? You understand that a confession, especially in the form of a sworn affidavit, could be used as evidence to the case. Testimony is evidence, Candace Owens. Because you're bad at this and you don't understand how court works. Testimony is evidence. So where's your evidence to prove that someone else did it? Because if you're saying he's not the shooter, then obviously you have some level of evidence to prove that someone else is. Because like I said the other day, that would be evil and soulless and heartless of you to sit on information where anyone else could possibly be the shooter, and you have valuable evidence to show that. and you're not turning that over to the FBI, and this shooter is walking free. This is one of the reasons why a protection order had to be immediately put in place by the court to protect Erica Kirk and the kids. So what you're saying is, if he didn't pull the trigger and shoot him, then there's a shooter out here on the loose. You see what happens when you lie, Candace Owens? Because that's what it leads to. Okay, so who did it? And why aren't you saying that? Why would you want that person to be out there on the loose? She's so bad at this, it's just disgusting. Candace is not a journalist. She's not an investigator. She's not an agent. She's not a commissioned police officer. She's a gossiper that talks like an airhead, because the reachiest of reaches of all reaches.
It's very clearly a Holocaust and a genocide.
A UN commission has said that it's a genocide. An association of genocide scholars has said it's a genocide. Mm-hmm. Israel says that it's acting within the bounds of the law and it's acting in self-defense after October 7th.
What?
Some of the people who agree with Israel are your old allies in the conservative movement, like Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee. You went on his podcast many times. Mm-hmm. He says there's no famine in Gaza. Mm-hmm. So who changed?
So anybody right after October 7th who supported Israel and their efforts, totally understandable. Like, there had to have been some sort of a reasonable response. Anybody who, October 23rd, 2 years into this, is still supporting Israel, looking at what they've done, has to be a psychopath, in my viewpoint.
So Mike Huckabee is a psychopath, in your view?
You either have to be blackmailed, you have to be fearful for your life, or you have to be a psychopath.
Asked for comment, Huckabee told CNN, I will be praying for Candace. It's sad to see her self-destruct.
In 2018, you went to the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Your tweets from the time.
I worked for PragerU.
Your tweets are very pro-Israel from the time. You're even mocking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for believing that Palestine is an occupied country. Mm-hmm. So how did you come to change your mind on that?
I was completely, like I think most American citizens, since you've seen how much support for Israel has plummeted quickly, we realized how brainwashed we were, how lied to we were about what was happening in that region. And obviously in politics, my first allies, everyone that was supporting Turning Point, and then I worked for PragerU, were all Zionists. And so they were the ones that were, quote unquote, educating me about what was going on. Obviously, that was a world before October 7th. So I think my concern at that time was like, Black Lives Matter in America. I didn't really care about what was happening in the Middle East. I wanted to support Trump. And so the issue itself felt so satellite. And
Wait, what? She's just rambling. Supporting Turning Point, and that I work for PragerU, and she's just saying words. They're not making sense.
The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem. Mm-hmm. Your tweets from the time.
I worked for PragerU.
Your tweets are very pro-Israel from the time. You're even mocking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for believing that Palestine is an occupied country. Mm-hmm. So how did you come to change your mind on that?
She uses mommy.
I was completely, like I think most American citizens, since you've seen how much support for Israel has plummeted quickly, we realized how brainwashed we were, how lied to we were about what was happening in that region. And obviously in politics, my first allies, everyone that was supporting Turning Point, and then I worked for PragerU, were all Zionists. And so they were the ones that were, quote unquote, educating me about what was going on. Obviously, that was a world before October 7th.
You said that you all were Zionists?
You were all Zionists. And so they were the ones that were, quote unquote, educating me about what was going on. Obviously, that was a world before October 7th. So I think.
Why weren't you reading and informing yourself based on the facts out here of what was going on? You allowed yourself to be brainwashed, Candace? Because research and reading is something you could do on your own accord. No one should have to tell you to do that. Especially if you want to walk around here talking about, I'm a journalist, I'm an investigative journalist. We're decentralized here. We don't trust the feds. But you're not reading and researching yourself. Yet again, you failed to read the indictment. That is more all the evidence I need to know. You have no idea what's going on with this case. You're just saying dumb things and making up stuff about Egyptian planes and underground pipes and communistic bees and all this nonsense. You're not even reading the actual court documents related to this case. Andrea Burkhart has an entire Substack page where she has all of the court docs that are available for you all to read, if you all want to read them, because reading is fundamental, and we do that here in the Lady Luck Club. Candace, why were you walking back and forth in Paula White's church, flailing your arms around?
My concern at that time was like Black Lives Matter in America. I didn't really care about what was happening in the Middle East. I wanted to support Trump. And so the issue...
What do you mean Black Lives in America didn't care about the Middle East? I'm sorry. Any organization in the United States of America, are they obligated to care about the Middle East? Here's my question to all the Candy-ass cult followers. Why is Candy more consumed with what's going on in a totally different country she was not born in and does not claim to have citizenship of at all, aside from the UK? And that's because of marriage. And then I question that. Why is she more consumed with what's happening in France or Australia or the Middle East or Israel, moreover than what's happening in the United States of America? Why do Black Lives Matter have to be concerned with the Middle East? They should be more concerned about what's happening here in the U.S. She's not making sense. She's just rambling. It's like she took something. Look at that. Look at his face. Yeah, my freeze frames are iconic.
Me about what was going on. Obviously, that was a world before October 7th. So I think my concern at that time was like Black Lives Matter in America. I didn't really care about what was happening in the Middle East. I wanted to support Trump. And so the issue itself felt so satellite. And then kind of the chickens came home to roost, and they were demanding that you have an opinion, that you say certain things. So I was like, oh, I better get educated about this, like really focus on that. And when I began to focus on it, I'm genuinely shocked, and I'm in equal parts ashamed that I ever supported Zionism. I think it's a demonic, Kabbalistic philosophy. And
but she blamed all Christians for being involved, for being the reason Charlie Kirk was shot. As if she's not a Christian anymore. Is that safe to say? Just Catholic in name only, but not a true Christian? While you sit and actually say Christianity is at fault now? A whole religion. Like, what?
God will have his vengeance on those that are still supporting it.
And do you mean that literally demonic?
What?
Demonic, literally. Demons, yeah.
As you know, you've been criticized for being anti-Semitic.
Well, it's not kind of weird because 4 seconds ago you were talking about how I went to Jerusalem and I worked for PragerU. So something changed. I don't think I woke up one day and decided to hate Jews.
Yeah, it's called views on your videos, you moron. So Candace Owens woke up one day and decided, I'm going to change my views because the things that have been happening in Gaza between Israel has been going on for centuries. You understand that this war goes back to the days of the Bible. It's been going on for centuries. And somehow Candace Owens missed all of history. You know, because she probably failed history and math and science and definitely English and journalism. You can't make this up. Where's the scientific evidence to prove that Brigitte Macron was born a man again, girl? Yeah, okay.
What Israel's doing, I think Jewish people, as many who have, should use their platforms to speak out against it. If you are a person who
she does this for views,
just follows the first 5 books of my Bible, there's no way that you could support what's happening in Israel. And if you are a person who does support it, then you don't follow the first.
What Bible is she reading? What Bible is she talking about? I don't think she's talking about the Holy Bible. What Bible she talking? She said my Bible. Candace, I, unlike you, take word for word what you literally say. That's why we do closed captions here. Did she say my Bible?
One day and decided to hate Jews. I hate what Israel's doing. I think Jewish people, as many who have, should use their platforms to speak out against it. If you are a person who just follows the first 5 books of my Bible, there's no way.
Yeah, she said my Bible. What Bible do you read? Is this for real? Yeah, what Bible is she reading? What? What is she first 5 books of my Bible, not the Holy Bible, not the Word of God. My Bible. Candace, you're not Jesus. What are you talking about? What Bible are you reading? Does Catholicism have a separate Bible we don't know about? Because I just, maybe Catholicism has, like, whatever sector she's in, they have their own Bible. Because no one says that. A true Christian does not say my Bible. We say the Holy Bible or the Word of God. My Bible?
That you could support what's happening in Israel. And if you are a person who does support it, then you don't follow the first 5 books of my Bible.
Owens sometimes deflects criticism that she dabbles in anti-Semitism by saying Israel supporters charge that any criticism of Israel is anti-Semitic. I've spent a lot of time covering white nationalists at their rallies, trials, and in hundreds of hours of phone calls. Just a month after October 7th, some, like this writer at a white nationalist website, began talking about how there was an unmet demand for criticism of Israel. And if the mainstream wouldn't fulfill it, extremists would. After listening to over 100 hours of Owens's podcast, certain terms kept catching my ear.
Trump is controlled by Zionists. I feel like we're an occupied nation. And now what's happening? Well, we have an occupied administration. There's no question. Trump is occupied by Zionists. Okay, he's completely impotent. He's completely powerless. He cannot say anything that goes against Israel or Bibi Netanyahu. He's letting them do whatever they want.
You can criticize Netanyahu without being anti-Israel, and you can criticize Israel without being anti-Semitic. But some of the themes, talking points, concepts you've used in your criticism of Israel, I'm very familiar with from covering white nationalists for 10 years. It's very unsettling for me to hear things like you saying our government is occupied by Zionists, Trump is occupied by Zionists, we're an occupied nation. Because, like, there's literally a term that's like an 80s, 90s term from white nationalism, ZOG, Zionist occupied government. It's their idea that Jews control the world. And I'm wondering, like, are you intentionally...
Yo, why is the report, the actual CNN reporter is just dropping basic knowledge right now, giving her, basically like acronyms. She's just quoting basic facts while giving her opinion. Because Candace, you can give your opinion without it being purported as a fact, and then still cite basic facts that anyone can look up and research for themselves, because that is how it's done. And she's sitting here like a demon is trying to come out of her, y'all. Look at this freeze frame. Candace is sitting here like Azazel or some demon is trying to just break loose, and it's just fighting back. This has got to be one of the most evil demonic poses I've ever seen from Candace Owens. What is going on with you, girl? It's like you say the name Jesus and she might melt. Who knows?
You saying our government is occupied by Zionists, Trump is occupied by Zionists, we're an occupied nation. Because, like, there's literally a term that's like an 80s, 90s term from white nationalism, ZOG, Zionist occupied government. It's their idea that Jews control.
Shout out to Berea Babes. Shout out to all the content creators that's coming in. Berea Babes, JWhit. Can I get my moms to drop the YouTube channel for Berea Babes in the chat? Good to see you in here. Enjoyed your content. I got a video I think you've done that I'm going to catch up on and check out. But make sure you guys check out Berea Babes' YouTube channel. Fantastic content creator. She's also keeping her foot on Candace's neck. And we love it. I mean, right is right and wrong is wrong, Like, I don't even sit here and try to deter people from liking Candace. But I don't like big lies, Candace. It's the big lies for me that I don't like. I can't stand when you lie about having 2 degrees that cannot be verified and you've produced 0 evidence to support. It's the big lies for me, Candace. It's the big lies. Those big lies that turn into mountaintops. Yeah, those lies.
The world. And I'm wondering, like, are you intentionally referencing those kind of themes?
Wait, just to slow this down. Are you accusing me of white nationalist rhetoric? Because I do have to have a little bit of a giggle about that first.
Well, to me, I'm also like, they'd be no fan of yours.
It's silly. But this is one of the things where I feel like it's such a lesson for CNN. This is why nobody watches it anymore. I mean, it's like you're sitting across from a black person. You're like, I've learned about white nationalism, and you're using white nationalism.
Stop it. What? Candace, let's not pretend like you were never summoned to Congress for a hearing on white nationalism and white supremacy as a black woman. The F you say? Now you get someone asking you questions about it, or she's saying that you're using the same terminology that is used when people speak about white nationalism and white supremacy, such as occupation and occupied. Terms that people don't use unless they're trying to correlate it or connect it to some event where they feel one group of individuals is trying to take over the entire country. Do you not understand that?
Like, are you intentionally referencing those kind of themes?
That's what she's asking.
Just to slow this down. Are you accusing me of white nationalist rhetoric? Because I do have to have a little bit of a giggle about that first.
Well, I mean, to me, I'm also like, they'd be no fan of yours.
It's silly. But this is one of the things where I feel like it's such a lesson for CNN. This is why nobody watches it anymore. I mean, it's like,
Candace, at some point, you're going to start losing viewers as well, because guess what? People are going to be tired of you recycling the same dumb lies about Charlie Kirk's death, and they're going to start seeing that you're grifting off of it, making all this money, getting millions of views. But they're going to get tired of hearing the same old thing from you, where you provide zero proof or evidence to substantiate any of the crap you said. And the way you do it to soundbite it, and then to see if someone responds just to corroborate what you're saying, as opposed to you saying, here's a video of Candace Owens walking back and forth, throwing her arms and flailing around in Paula White's church. You see, I didn't have to talk about that. I just showed the video. I showed the actual proof of you doing that. While you sit here and insinuate Christianity. Once upon a time, you were praying in a church, hoping that Trump would win a re-election with Paula White. You see that? That's how that goes. I didn't have to mention that and then hope someone posts the video up. Nope, I posted it up myself. That's how you present documentation. Where is your documentation on this stuff? She asked you a yes or no question. You're bad at this. You're very bad at this, Candace. This is why people should not see her as a journalist. She's just a gossiper who's chasing views and trying to get money to cover her attorney's fees because the Macrons are about to sue the crap out of her.
you're sitting across from a black person. You're like, I've learned about white nationalism, and you're using white nationalism.
Like, I know them. I've been to their rallies. I've read all their texts.
I get it. I know. I'm so glad you're educated. But this is when it's like, put it in a book and anybody will say it. It's like, it's just at a certain point.
Candace attacks people who are intellectual and educated. She did the same thing to Piers Morgan. Why are you insulting her about being educated? We're glad that you recognize that, Candace. We're all glad you recognize that this young lady interviewing you is actually educated. Why are you attacking her for it? Is it the guilty conscience speaking about you lying about having 2 degrees? Is that why you lie about it? So that people don't think you're stupid as you sound? Is that it? Oh, I'm on one today.
Point you have to use your eyes and go, is Candace Owens promoting white nationalist rhetoric? Okay, immediately no. So what else could it be? Could it be that actually Zionism is what it actually represents?
What does that mean? Like,
Zionism is a political philosophy. Okay?
Zionist occupied government.
If you look into the history, yes, I believe we are a Zionist occupied government, and we're not the only one. Okay, yes, and I take it to the bank. If you need to walk out of here and say Candace Owens is a white nationalist for you to be able,
take what to the bank? Oh, like you said, you would stake your entire professional career on the fact that Brigitte Macron was born a man, and then they said ditto, and they dropped that lawsuit on you. Are you still willing to continue to gamble with banks and checks and your money and your career professional, whatever you think you got? You're a career con artist, but not a journalist. But since you want to throw it out there and gamble with it, they're like, okay, bet we'll take it from you. You're already, gone. Your credibility is shot, Candace. The moment you lied and said you had 2 degrees, and there's no evidence or proof of that, And then you never speak about these 2 degrees. You never say what school you graduated from, what year you completed these 2 degrees. You've never even shown the degree itself. Not even one, let alone 2. As arrogant as you are, most people would naturally assume you would want to post up your degrees while you sit here and try to look down on someone for actually being educated. She who has not read the indictment. You can't make this up. Who are those leaks in the FBI?
Immediately no. So what else could it be? Could it be that actually Zionism is what it actually represents?
What does that mean? Like,
It's
we're literally
Zionism is a political
occupied?
philosophy. Okay?
Zionist occupied
If you
government.
look into the history, yes, I believe we are a Zionist occupied government, and we're not the only one. Okay, yes, and I take it to the bank. If you need to walk out of here and say Candace Owens is a white nationalist for you to be able to digest it, then that's
why no one needs to say that. Why are you putting words in her mouth, you idiot? I don't get it. What is she going on and babbling about here? She didn't say you were a white nationalist. She said you're using rhetoric. You're using terminology that you have used when it came to white nationalism and white supremacy. Because you were summoned to a congressional hearing about that. That happened, people. She was summoned to a U.S. congressional hearing regarding white supremacy and her views on that. And white nationalism. They even asked about the KKK. What is she sitting here mad about? She acts like those videos don't exist.
fine. You have to deal with that in your own time. But
like,
what I will say is
maybe this
I
stuff is
stand
ambient,
by,
and that's where you
I
picked
stand
it
by
up.
every statement that I made, and I want to double down on it. Okay? America is occupied by Zionists.
The Zionist occupied government meme is so old it predates memes. Here's the Wikipedia entry. Here's an archive of the most fascist board on 4chan, over 450,000 results. Here are the results from the old school white nationalist message board Stormfront. There are academic books about it, there are crank books about it. It was mentioned in a congressional hearing in the 90s.
Did they define what they meant by Zionist occupied government?
The government of the United States of America.
Occupied by whom?
The Jewish community.
There's another theory she talks about, the Khazar Empire.
Yeah, the Khazarians just decided to pretend they were Jewish, according to their research in the 8th century.
The Khazar theory is an obscure conspiracy theory suggesting that Ashkenazi Jews, those of Eastern European descent, are not the true Jewish people, but instead are descended from a Turkic people who converted about 1,000 years ago. It's been widely discredited by geneticists and historians. But the idea persists because anti-Semites find it makes useful propaganda when denying Jewish claims to Israel.
I talked to 5 current and former white nationalists about several of the concepts you talk about. The Khazar conspiracy theory, which is this idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from this Turkic people, not people in...
It's not a conspiracy.
It is disputed.
It's not disputed. It was written by them in their own books, and they got rid of their books.
It was written by a Jewish person.
Not a Jewish person, an
It's
Israeli.
disputed by
and he was awarded
DNA evidence,
and he started a department
now.
at Tel Aviv University, and they've never taken his award back. Okay,
but you see her over talking her when she says DNA evidence, because scientific evidence does not care about your feelings. It is purely based upon fact. Candace, just because you don't want to accept evidence does not mean that evidence does not exist. And I'm still standing on 10 toes when I say that Candace cannot define the word evidence. She doesn't understand the definition of the word evidence, by the way. This is the same person that says Tyler Robinson did not pull the trigger and failed to read the actual indictment or any other court document related to the case. I've read more motions and orders relating to this than she has, and I never met Charlie Kirk. Candace, you're a clown, and I want you to know that. She's saying there's DNA evidence that has debunked this. So all that nonsense you're saying is irrelevant. Because you cannot get stronger evidence than DNA evidence. Period.
You can't just, this is what I mean. You can't just
modern science now.
Modern science. Okay, the same people that control the science are the people that are writing the books.
It's called science. You got blood pumping through your veins. Do you not, Heifer? Perhaps Candace does not have blood, or she's not warm-blooded. Maybe she has Freon pumping through her veins. I believe if Candace Owens were to bleed, it would be green ooze. Because she's an alien. This girl is not of this planet. I'm telling y'all that right now. for someone to reject basic fundamental science, period, is egregious, but yet called the COVID vaccine a hoax, but somehow doesn't understand the basic fundamentals of science, such as, Candace, what does DNA stand for? 10 points if you can actually say the full scientific term for DNA. 10 points.
Their own history book said we are the Khazars. A magic empire didn't disappear in the 8th century.
This is what
I'm talking about Jewish people, Ashkenazi Jews, just so we can, this who is they thing has got to stop. I'm talking about Ashkenazi Jews. I'm talking about the people that established Israel as a nation.
Owens also talks about a group called the Frankists, a heretical Jewish sect that did exist beginning in Eastern Europe in the 1700s. They had weird sex rituals. Some conspiracy theorists claim Frankists are an ongoing cult that has infiltrated the highest levels of society and manipulates world events. One of the most persistent anti-Semitic conspiracy theories.
Everywhere I look, I'm starting to try to chase this Frankist movement. Where is it? Its tentacles are everywhere.
Owens claims there are current practicing Frankists in the government right now, a claim for which there is no evidence.
Does Trump? Does our State Department?
No,
do you think they're controlled by Frankists?
What I said to you is you can pick your lane in terms of the people who would get behind and support a man who raped children.
What?
Are these people being blackmailed? Are these people terrified? Or are these people psychopaths? You can sort them into those buckets. I don't really have the time to.
No one's asking you to. You bringing up things that are irrelevant. Just answer the question, you dingus. Why are you talking like an area, because it's the reaches of all reaches. What is wrong with you? Just answer the question. You're bad at this, Candace. You're very bad at this.
I'm here to tell you is what I actually believe.
These people all say that you're doing a speed run through old school white nationalist conspiracy theories.
Well, then I guess I'm a white nationalist.
I'm not saying you're a white nationalist.
What are you saying?
These are anti-Semitic conspiracy theories that have long been a propaganda tactic to delegitimize Jews, to make them seem like a scary, secretive cabal that is controlling everything.
There are tons of Jewish people who are speaking out against what's happening in Israel. And I do believe people in Israel who founded Israel, people like Theodore Herzl, were actually Frankists.
We talked about Frankists a lot, for a total of 8 minutes and 25 seconds.
So yeah, I think this cult still exists. That's what I'm telling you.
In our government.
At the higher, absolutely.
Do you think it motivates
the deep state for sure?
Zionism? Do you think it is a motivation for Zionism?
Well, I think it's weird that so many Zionists.
I think it's weird that she's trying to be condescending. Thank you so much for saying this, Tina. She's so condescending. Do y'all hear how she's talking? She is MK Ultra and doesn't even realize it. Exactly. Y'all, Candace, listen, two can play this game, Candace. You're sitting here looking like you're high on something, girl. Like you're having a hard time holding your big head up. Your neck is rolling all over the place with your eyeballs. It looks like your eyes extended past the point of, no return here. That's not normal. You see how we can just say things randomly, Candace? You see this? Two can play this game, you heifer. I know you watching, little girl. We can all do this. We can sit here and nitpick and just make statements about you. I'm just making observations. Candace, why does it sound like you're just, slurred in speech? Were you aware that George Farmer was one of the chairmen of Turning Point UK? Was it truly a coincidence that you just so happened to fly out? You two got engaged after 18 days? Or is it at some point going to become public of some emails or some exchanges where you probably was talking to him before you flew out there? That's too much of a coincidence. We know you researched him. You Google him and find out he had a boatload of money for you to marry somebody in 18 days. And then ironically, he's the chairman of Turning Point UK. I have some questions about that. A lot of questions about that, Candace. See, we can do this all day. We can do this all day, Candace. We can do this all day. Very interesting to me how all of a sudden you met somebody in the UK in 18 days, y'all are married, and he so happened to be one of the chairmen of TP UK. a chairman of Turning Point, and you're supposed to be one of the Masons. Make this make sense. She's one of the persons that claims to be a Mason, right? Only worked there 2 years, though. And somehow she did not know who the other chairmen were in Turning Point across the world, in other countries. Yeah, make that make sense to me. Anybody understand what I'm saying here? How do you go out, take Charlie Kirk's credit card, book a flight to go to the UK, and meet a man and marry him in 18 days, and he just so happened to be the chairman of Turning Point UK, and you are a Mason in Turning Point, and you didn't know that this man existed, that he was a chairman in Turning Point? You didn't know that? You're a founding, thank you, Yuck 2.0. You're a founding Mason of Turning Point USA, Candace. And somehow you had no idea at all before you flew out there to the UK that George Farmer was a chairman of Turning Point UK. You didn't know that at all? How do you not know that? Make that make sense. You're supposed to know all the big wigs in Turning Point. You wouldn't know another chairman that might be in another country? You can't make this up. But yet, she can tell you all what's going on when it comes down to how long it takes to book an event and all this other stuff. But somehow she didn't know that George Farmer was one of the chairmen of Turning Point UK before she married him. But that make sense to me? And this man got money. I don't even know what he does for a living. Now he just helps her with her YouTube channel. Yeah. See, Candace, we can all speculate things too, girl. Because we can do the same thing. Anything you can do, we can do 1,000 times better. Trust me on that.
I know keep defending children being raped doesn't make me comfortable.
Who is defending children being
Any person that is defending Jeffrey Epstein.
I want to look at this more big picture, right? So people have accused you of like your criticism of the war in Gaza as being motivated by anti-Semitism, which you deny. Can you look at it from a different perspective? Like, are you delegitimizing criticism of the war in Gaza by tying it to these conspiracy theories about like Frankists and things that
I didn't tie it to those conspiracies. What's happening in Gaza is wrong, and any person that can't acknowledge that is either being blackmailed, is either a psychopath, or they're fearful for their life. What's happening in Gaza, I can see with my own eyes. It's not conspiracy theory, and by calling everything a conspiracy theory doesn't make it so.
I feel like you actually got.
But you theorize things. That's the basis of the word theory. Candace, these are more words you can't define because you're bad at this. When you theorize and make assumptions, you're creating these theories. These are basic terms that you should know the definition of and the concept of. This isn't difficult here.
More careful with your language, because when I first started listening, I'd be like, who's they, Candace? You'd be like, they want you to believe this, they want you to believe that.
Why do you say who is they?
Exactly.
It's a word. Like, so why do you
But
people
I know
do that?
I'm not the only one, because you addressed it.
Okay, they meaning who is the actual subject that you're speaking about, Candace, because it seems like it's another word that you're having a tough time understanding and comprehending. Is this another word you can't define? They? You know, a word you should have learned when you were in the first grade. I can't believe she doesn't understand the concept of the question. Who is they? What noun are you referring to? A person, place, a thing? What person or groups of people are you referring to when you say they? What's so difficult about this?
On one of your podcasts, you're like, you guys are always saying, who's
She's not
they?
number one in the
Well, I
world.
mean, Israel, not Jews.
No, but like it's just
You
they is a
have
word.
addressed it.
They is a word. So like I don't need to always like say they. Like it's just a weird.
But
It's
you
like this
do.
is one of these psychology tactics where you're like, who is they? Who is they? And it's like,
Because it sounds like you're saying Jews.
does the word they mean Jews?
When you're talking about Jews, yes.
But if I'm not talking about Jews, then they doesn't mean Jews. When I say they want us to believe this.
So who is they then? That's what she's asking you, dingus. When you're not referring to Jewish individuals, who is they? What persons are you referring to when you say they? And why can't you have a spine and say the individuals you're talking about? Why do you have to keep referring to whoever these people are as they? If you're referring to white people, just say white people. If you're referring to black people, say black people. If you're referring to Jewish individuals, you say the Jewish. You say the Zionists with no problem. Are you referring to people in Australia? You say Australians. Why is it so difficult for you to correlate that when it comes to the simple question she's asking you? Who is they referencing when you say they? If you're not talking about Jews, then who is they? Are you talking about Muslims? I mean, who are we talking about here? Not a difficult question.
So they want us to believe that, and you hear Jews, that's your own derangement, right? If I want to say something about Jews, I'll say it. If I want to say something about Israel, I will say it. If I want to, just like when I want to say something about black people, I'll say it. When I was saying during BLM, they want us to believe, nobody said, do you mean Jews? And so again, it's one of these trash tactics to make people fearful to speak. If I want to say Jews, I will say Jews. I don't fear saying Jews. When I say Zionists run the media, I mean Zionists run the media. People that support the political ideology of Israel run the media. Any other things that I can help clarify?
But are you familiar with this like very long-standing trope?
Couldn't give a shit about a trope. Literally, please don't even go down the line.
She doesn't understand the definition of trope. That's why she doesn't care about it. Just as an FYI to you all. To the candy asses, this is your cult leader who does not understand definitions of terms such as they, or trope, or evidence, or proof, or lie. You know, because the reachiest of all reaches of all reaches, the reachiest reach of all reaches, you know, somehow that is a phrase to her. But when it comes to a simple question of who is they, when you're not speaking about Jews, now she gets an attitude about it. Why are you throwing a tantrum, Candace? You're too old for this. Why are you throwing a tantrum? You sound like a petulant child yet again. And you're trying to be condescending. Thank you for acknowledging that this CNN reporter is educated and definitely smarter than you are. You can't make this stuff up. This is the same airhead that has failed to read the indictment of Tyler James Robinson. Yeah, because she doesn't understand the difference between a Discord message and a text message. Two different words, Candace, two different words.
So boring for me. It is so racist trope, anti-Semitic tropes, all strategies to get us fearful to speak. I want the world to know.
I'm telling you, these white nationalists, Candace, like, I'm not, like, seriously.
I have to tell you something also. You're white, so if the white nationalists are here in the room with you right now,
no,
I should be more fearful.
on the phone and they laugh.
Okay, because
including one you interviewed.
By the way,
Nick Fuentes.
They should laugh because what you
they laugh at the tropes that you are putting out. They're like, that is lowbrow stuff.
Okay.
These are people who
red meat to your base.
We're literally doing Nazi salutes to Danielle.
Oh my, yeah, it's red meat to her base. Because Candace doesn't even know who her audience is at this point. Candace, you've influenced white nationalists to attack mosques, and you've influenced, you know, individuals to attack a synagogue or to send death threats to Jewish conservatives. So you don't care about the effect of what you say and the danger behind it that it poses on someone's life. Did she ever out that other Jewish donor? Because if she does, that Jewish donor should sue the crap out of her and point out that Candace does not understand the definition of the word trope. Because she got it coming.
Years ago. Okay. And they are laughing at some of those tropes you put out because they think it's lowbrow and too far out there. Like it's too crazy for people who threw up Nazi salutes.
Okay.
You are like putting out into the world this like connection between these like really ugly ideas and criticism of a war that can be valid.
I said what I meant. If you'd like me to clarify any statements that I made, I'd be happy to do it. But
no one wants you to clarify anything because You can't even answer a yes or no question with a yes or no answer. Nor can you define trope. So no. Nope. Yeah, I think clarifying anything would just, no one is in the mood to go down that rabbit hole with you, girl. No. Don't clarify nothing. this man, she, instead of her answering questions, she's being condescending after acknowledging that she's educated, that the CNN reporter is educated. Candace, where's the proof of your 2 degrees? We're waiting.
But trying to do some roundabout way of being like, well, Nick Fuentes held a Nazi symbol and he says it. I don't care about what Nick Fuentes said. I don't care about your feelings.
Well, you
I
have
think
changed your mind.
you're trying.
You changed your mind about Israel.
Yeah, I did. But here's the thing. I think you're trying like a hatchet job at psychology, and I don't want to waste your time.
It's not about psychology.
Well, I know.
Condescending she tries to be, you still sound like an airhead, Candace. You're an airhead.
But like,
This
I
is
don't.
about, like,
I want to help
reality.
focus you. You're not going to be able to get even 1 inch on my perspectives on Israel. You're not going to be able to get me to believe or invest in some trope that I am saying that what they are doing is wrong and that the government is demonic. So, if you have anything else you'd like to talk about, I don't want you to spend your whole hour, trying to draw blood when you're not going to get it.
When you say, you have also said Israel is a demonic nation.
Yes.
Okay.
Demonic.
People,
I've said that several
when
times.
you mean this literally, right? Like
Literally possessed
explain-
by a demon, okay, to shed that much blood, and then to have people that willfully gaslight people about that. It can be only a demon, a full satanic possession has to descend, and that's what's happening. So, anything else I can help clarify?
Owens has a long history of being provocative. Her upcoming book is called Make Him a Sandwich. And earlier this year, Owens gained a tremendous amount of fame with an 8-part series claiming Brigitte Macron was born a
Here
man,
we go.
that she was actually her own brother, and stole Brigitte's identity in the 80s.
You can't
The
make
Macrons
this up.
denied it, Owens doubled down, and they sued her for defamation in July. Her
Good for
series
them.
builds suspicion through association, with a wide cast of characters from a fashion designer to an ancient Roman statue dug up in the Macron's hometown. But for her core claim that Brigitte isn't a woman, there's no proof.
Why does it matter?
It matters because it is government corruption. It's the same reason the Epstein story matters, and it matters because children were harmed.
But you're not accusing Brigitte of harming children.
Actually, Macron, it's statutory rape, and that's what we're going to court over.
No, you're not. Nope. You lying heifer. You filed a motion to dismiss against the original complaint and then filed a motion to dismiss along with the motion to strike the first amended complaint from the Macrons. You lying heifer. You lie like it's breathing air for you. You are lying, Candace. You're not pursuing a damn thing. You're trying to get that case dismissed and won't even admit it. And I told you all, I'm staying on top of that case. I'm reporting everything on it. Y'all heard it here first in the Lady Luck Club. Candace, you are literally trying to get that case dismissed. You're not suing. You're not even insinuating that the premise of the 8-part series or any of that was because you believe that she was solely just dating a minor here. No, you accused her of being born a man. Then you said she had a sex change. Then you said she's really her brother. Then you said she died and her identity was given to her brother. You come up with some of the nastiest BS that even, I don't know if all of hell is proud of you for this level of lying you're doing or what. But it's so outlandish. They're suing you for purporting your so-called dumb theory to be a fact that Brigitte Macron was born a man. That is the premise of that lawsuit. Yet another piece of document you have failed to read. Because she didn't read it. Y'all, she just flashed up 200 pages of the complaint. She didn't read a damn thing. And won't even admit. My attorneys filed a motion to dismiss and a motion to dismiss with a strike. Nope. You got to come to the Lady Luck Club to get that, because Candace Owens won't even admit that much, because Candace, deep down, you're a spineless coward. You can't even tell your cult following that you filed a motion to dismiss, because anyone that doesn't want something dismissed will not file a motion to the court asking them to dismiss it. Do you understand how that makes no sense? The hypocrisy of it all. It's the hypocrisy for me, Candace. And you lying about it. You know, the big lies, not the little lies. It's the big lies for me. The big lies.
So yeah.
You're not going to court over the fact that she got together with Emmanuel Macron when he was 15. They admit that.
I'm saying that actually Emmanuel was 14 and it was statutory rape.
The Macrons say this is false, and that they met when Brigitte was 39 and Emmanuel was 15. The lawsuit says they informed Owens it was false in a December letter.
Do you think you'll be victorious in court?
Yeah, because truth is a
Do you think you'll be victorious in court? Yeah, because truth is, Candace, how? You filed a motion to dismiss. Your 3 attorneys that all went to law school who should be sanctioned if they allow you to go in and have that tone and to sit here and play word salad in the court with a jury and a judge. Your 3 attorneys filed a motion to dismiss. You're not trying to fight anything. You can't make this up. How are you trying to fight this lawsuit? You want it to go away, girl. Then you're crying and whining and throwing tantrums talking about they're trying to bankrupt me. You guys, they're trying to bankrupt me. How dare they? Well, you have no scientific evidence to prove that Brigitte Macron was born a man. Because she wanted the blood of the first lady. Shout out to CJ for saying that. You can't make this up. She says she wants the blood of the first lady. You know, I have my doctors. They fly out, get a little blood, take care of this real quick. Yeah, that's what you said in the whole video. That will be used against you in the court of law, Candace. Keep talking. All these videos, every single time you lie about that case, these videos will be used against you in the court of law. They're going to slam dunk your face with a multi-million-dollar lawsuit. And it will not be difficult for them to win because they're bringing scientific evidence, something you're not privy to have.
Met when Brigitte was 39 and Emmanuel was 15. The lawsuit says they informed Owens it was false in a December letter.
Do you think you'll be victorious in court?
Because it was false.
Because truth is a defense against defamation, and I'm telling the truth.
No, you're not. No, she's not. Truth is a defense against defamation. Candace, mighty funny how you're asking for the court to dismiss it based on lack of jurisdiction. It ain't got nothing to do with no truth. Heifer, you are lying your ass off. Look at this demon trying to come out. Y'all look at that pouty face. Oh, the pouty face. Candace, you're like a petulant child throwing a tantrum. Look at that pouty face. Yeah, my freeze frames are iconic. This is why I'm the queen of this. Look at this. That pouty face. Somebody's got the pouty face because she's lying. You know, we're going to pull up the Macron's lawsuit after this for fun. Just for fun.
Emmanuel Macron, when he was 15, they admit that.
I'm saying that actually Emmanuel was 14 and it was statutory rape.
The Macrons say this is false, and that they met when Brigitte was 39 and Emmanuel was 15. The lawsuit says they informed Owens it was false in a December letter.
Do you think you'll be victorious in court?
Yeah, because truth is a defense against defamation, and I'm telling the truth.
No, you're not.
We asked the White House for comment on
Lying ass.
Owens' claims about President Trump. The White House did not respond. Turning
Nope.
Point also did not respond to a request for comment.
And they shouldn't. Don't respond to Candace Owens. It's like feeding the monkeys in the zoo. Don't do it. You know, you go back, they just keep coming. They can tell you're coming back. You fed them once before. And they come back to you again because they're expecting you to feed them again. The next thing you know, they stop finding their own food on their own. You can't make this up. Turning Point USA does not need to comment. They know Candace is full of shit.
Candace Owens reflects the reality of the new media ecosystem we live in. Whether you think that's great or terrible, it's the way it is. There's a temptation to treat figures like her as fringe players not worthy of attention. But we do that at our own peril.
That was it. Y'all, this is it. We do that at our own peril. I'll make sure. Yep, that was it. Oh, what do y'all think? Tell me what you think about this. Because This young lady, the CNN reporter, did a fantastic job. She saw that Candace was being defensive and trying to be condescending, and she knows that Candace is an airhead. She's probably got more background facts on Candace than Candace could even comprehend. And the fact that she did cite facts, that can be researched, information that has been debunked with scientific evidence, made this all worthwhile. Candace, you want to lie about that case again? You said you're going. The interview happened 9/26. Yeah, it was like what? Charlie Kirk was shot on September 10th. She didn't have to do this interview if she was so-called grieving and having a hard time processing the loss of a friend that, whose legacy with his company she's trying to dismantle, and continues to criticize and attack, along with his pastor and his wife and his friends, any associates, anyone close to him. She's just attacking them. You can't make this up. Tracy says her eyes look empty, soulless, and evil. Exactly. And Diane said, I roll. As far as Diane, yeah, that's what I thought is gross, but not illegal. And they claim that they didn't do anything until he was older. Anyways, yeah, I even said that. I said flat out that it is not the issue of her even being with a 15-year-old, despite the fact that France laws says that at 15 you're old enough to consent. Our laws does not have to be upheld in another country. France is its own sovereign country. They have the right to create their own laws, and if they have an age of consent at 15, that's their laws. Do we have to agree with it? No. But there are a lot of laws in the US I don't like or agree with either. Some I even feel are outdated and need to be amended or revised. But until that happens, laws are laws. We cannot force our laws on another country, nor are they bound to uphold our laws here in the US either. And Candace Owens keeps talking about this age gap, this, 30-something and 15 years old. She keeps talking about that. But see, here's the thing, Candace. You can't go to court and say that that's your supposed defense when you're talking about laws that are not applicable in the United States of America, because they met in France. So their laws in France would be applicable. Should she have tried to be with some kid at 15 and leave any impression on him at all, to give him any idea that she was supposed to be his wife? No. She should have laughed at him and said, "You're just a kid. Get out of here. You're my daughter's age. Bye." But over there, if the age of consent is 15, the laws are what they are. And you're trying to use something that happened over 20, 30 plus years ago to say, what is this court going to do about that? Nothing. There's nothing that Judge Rennie and the Superior Court of Delaware can do legally to punish Brigitte Macron for meeting Emmanuel Macron at 15 years old. There's nothing that our U.S. court can do about that. Not a damn thing. So why would that be a defense she would use? Let me help you out. Candace Owens did not go to law school. She's not an attorney. And she's not making that defense. They're trying to dismiss the case based on lack of jurisdiction. They're not even using that as a defense. And that's not the premise of the lawsuit, Candace. They're suing you for defamation for lying on Brigitte Macron being born a man. And you literally said in a video, "You're not suing me because I alleged that you were born a man." And you were born male. Man, male, go in there and play word salad if you want to. That judge is going to have your ass sit down. They're not trying to hear that in court. That's why she's trying to have it dismissed. Candace does not have a defense. And then she doubles down on it. So why have it dismissed if you think you got a case, Candace? Just so we all can understand this here. Because I love doing this. For the candy asses out here that still don't want to ask her why she's seeking a dismissal. Here you go. Now, why don't the candy asses, all 5.5 million of you, why don't you all ask her about this motion to dismiss? Sadly, I fear Islam is using candy to spread in America. 42 Muslims were elected in recent elections. I want the Macrons to bankrupt her sorry ass. Yeah, me too. They're gonna get a hefty settlement. She can't use it. Nothing happened until he was an adult. Exactly. And guess what? We can't invoke and force our laws on something that happened in another country. They're not Americans. You're talking about something over 25, 30 years ago. And you're sitting here calling her a man. What does that have to do with her meeting him at 15? Our Constitution does not allow us to sit here and uphold another country's laws. Now, the average mother will say, yeah, no, I will never, ever want my 15-year-old to even think about looking at a 39-year-old romantically. I will be disturbed and I will probably beat her ass if she was my kid's teacher. But there's nothing that this U.S. court is going to do about that particular situation, because the offense didn't occur here in the U.S., where the average age of consent is either like 16 through 18. Majority 18. And then you're talking about something that happened in France over 20 plus years ago, 30 years ago. So, Brigitte Macron is over 70. Well over 30 years ago. Candace, why don't you tell your followers that you filed the motion to dismiss again? Here it is. Motion to dismiss. Docketed November 1st. Defendant's motion to dismiss and to strike the first amended complaint with the certificate of service attached and the notice of the motion as well. Proposed order to defendant's motion to dismiss and to strike the first amended complaint also was submitted. Meaning they're hoping that the judge grants the motion and they've already drafted the proposed order. Then they have an opening brief that was filed and docketed November 1. And this brief is in support of the motion to dismiss and to strike the first amended complaint. You're not going to go through all of this if you're trying to fight defamation with the truth. Candace, like I said, you're bad at this. You're bad at this. You suck. And you won't even admit the obvious that people can look up. This is public information, people. You can go on courtconnect.courts.delaware.gov. Put in the case number. Let's go up so you all can see. Because the candy asses, I swear most of them don't read. We're not willing to tap into your alternate reality. We're not in the mood. Here on planet Earth, in this reality, this lawsuit is real, Candace. You filing a motion to dismiss is real. And you lied about it. You lied to your entire audience and to the audience of Tucker Carlson on his show. When you said that you did not want this case dismissed, you keep talking about people should sue you. You want subpoena power, more terms you can't define, and you won't even admit this obvious truth. So here's the case ID number. N as in Nancy, 25, C as in candy ass, -07-194. Because, we here in the Lady Luck Club, I know you all read, but it's the candy asses that refuse to read, the cult members and all. Hey, Caleb, how you doing? Big bad Candy's crying now. That's funny. Information out here. Let's say Andrea says, what are the chances the judge will grant the dismissal if anyone knows? So the fact that Candace Owens has an LLC registered in the state of Delaware and that Georgetown Inc. is also registered in the state of Delaware, because I pulled the information up. I researched it myself. They tried to get it over to Tennessee, but it was aborted. So now it's registered in the state of Delaware. And that is not some secret information, people. That's public information. Candace Owens chose to be a public figure. That is all your fault, Candace. So the LLC and the Georgetown Inc. are both registered in the state of Delaware. And the law permits the petitioner to file a lawsuit in the state if they have an LLC, especially where she's profiting off of this. It's not just the defamation alone. It's the fact that Candace Owens profited off of the defamation as well. And the majority of the money that she has earned, the revenue that has been generated, came under the Candace Owens LLC. So that is the LLC connected to her channel. She's selling merchandise, hats, and t-shirts, and she did an 8-part series. All these videos she's posting on her YouTube channel, which I don't understand is why it's still operating. Because if I would have done this, they would have shut down my page. I got a warning for playing parts of Superman. This heifer is literally defaming and being sued for it, sending out her candy ass cult followers to cyber harass and cyberbully, doxing people, posting up medical information, disseminating medical information without consent that she obtained illegally. And somehow her channel hasn't been shut down at all. Anyone else, our channels would have been shut down with no hopes of being revitalized. So because the actual LLC and the Georgetown Inc., those registrations are in the state of Delaware, the law permits them to say, okay, we're filing it in the state of Delaware because, one, you have LLCs here, and this is where the majority of this revenue from this defamation you're earning is coming through. It's coming through the Candace Owens LLC. And that is registered in the state of Delaware, so that gives them standing to file that lawsuit in the state of Delaware. Now, let's say it's denied. Then the Macrones can file the lawsuit in the state of Tennessee, where she resides. But they're trying to claim that the Macrones are doing what's called libel tourism. You know, you shopping around to figure out what state is more friendly with defamation laws and all of that. No, it's where her LLC is registered. It's that simple. And mind you, Candace Owens herself filed a lawsuit against USA Today and another media outlet, right? Gannett, which I think is like the parent company to USA Today. And guess where she filed that lawsuit? This was just 2-3 years ago. I went over that lawsuit myself. It's on the Candace Owens, the international headliner Candace Owens playlist on my channel. But I went over that lawsuit. Guess where she filed that one? She filed that lawsuit against USA Today in the state of Delaware. On the court dockets, it reflects that she is not only a public figure, but that her Candace Owens LLC is registered in Delaware. So they can easily use that to show precedence, to show she's filing lawsuits against people in the state of Delaware. But when one is filed against her, all of a sudden this court lacks jurisdiction. Child, make that make sense? She makes YouTube money. There was a creator, SS Sniper Wolf, a couple years ago, who was breaking fair use rules, and it took a lot of complaints and time for them to do anything. Yeah, it's like YouTube shows favoritism because she has 5.5 million subs and gets all these views and stuff, and only because she's talking about Charlie Kirk. If you look at her other videos she did prior to the Macrones, like the interview she did with Andrew Weinstein, that video didn't even crack 1 million views the last time I checked. But now she's averaging in 2 to 3 million views a day. Every episode she talks about Charlie Kirk. That's what's so crazy about it. You can't make this stuff up. So more than likely, the judge is going to deny the motion to dismiss because the Macrone's attorney would not have filed the lawsuit in the state of Delaware if they did not have legal standing to do it, meaning if there was no finding of law that gave them the ability or basically the right to file that lawsuit in the state of Delaware, they probably would have went for the state of Tennessee where she resides. So plus, you can show she's filing lawsuits here in the state of Delaware when she wanted to sue USA Today. What are we talking about? She's already admitted in court documents that her LLC is registered here. USA Today also had an LLC registered in the state of Delaware. So, if the law permits us to file this lawsuit here based on an LLC being registered in the state, and you have proceeds, revenue, income that are being generated and earned under this LLC, then we have legal standing to file it. And the court does maintain jurisdiction over the case. So more than likely to be denied. They have a weak argument. I mean, it's 3 attorneys and all of them couldn't come up with a better argument than libel tourism. It's so crazy. So, civil proceedings, the burden to meet is a preponderance of the evidence, 51% convincing. There is a jury demand. So hopefully, more than likely, if I had to just take a stab at it and guess, would be that the judge denies it. But you never know. I hope they deny it. How about that? Let me put it like that. I hope the judge denies it. Because I know the candy asses come back. See, you said it would be denied. Nope. I hope it's denied. I'm hoping it's denied. And denied quickly. And then it gets laughed at, like the judge laughs at it. You can't make this stuff up. Let's see here. Candace's episode today was just straight up rambling and reaching. She's running out of things to say about it. Oh, I already told you all. When she posted up the list of lies in one of her previous episodes. Yeah, I said, just be careful. She's going to start recycling through those list of lies that she can't prove with any documentation evidence. That's all she's doing now. She's recycling. She's going to get back to Egyptian plains by mid next week. It's so crazy. So, yeah, she got a letter from Courtney Love, her claim to fame. Oh, really? Oh, man. Oh, Michelle said Candace, like any other debate, would have to prepare for it. Actually work hard, not rely on your wits. You're able to talk yourself out of it before, not now. But not now, exactly. She ain't gonna be able to talk herself out of that in court. Y'all, this is absolutely, and I must say, been a fantastic live today. Absolutely fantastic live stream. I appreciate all of you all. You guys are rock stars. You understand? All of you guys coming in and supporting. I know it's late. And so we're going to end this on a positive note. First, let me get in the supers here. Shout out to Sweetie for becoming a member of the LLC. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Shout out to Laura, my fantastic mod. She's also the administrator here for StreamYard. So anytime you guys see how fast the chat's scrolling and moving, which is a fantastic thing. Thank you guys for being engaged in the chat. I truly appreciate that. It does help ensure that these videos stay at the top of the algorithm. And I know that video, the beginning clip, Candace Owens in Paula White's church flailing about, throwing a tantrum or whatever she's doing. Yeah. People forgot about that. Candace, I didn't forget about it. Oh, man. We want to keep this video to the forefront because people need to see that. Because she want to blame Christians now for everything. It's crazy. So shout out to Laura for the $10 super. It's my birthday, and we love you and honor you, honey. We're going to play that birthday song. The Nerve Ensemble, shout out to you for the $7.99 super. Thank you at LLC for keeping us sane. Candace is like alcohol. The more I consume, the more brain cells I kill. I can't do it anymore. That's good stuff. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. You don't know me. $1.99 super. She has no screws left to even be loose. I love the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Another 199 super from You Don't Know Me. My Bible. What? Exactly. She said my Bible. Candace, what Bible are you reading and what God are you serving? Because if you're sitting here listening to Paula White speak gibberish and not an actual holy tongue, yeah, I don't think we serve the same God, girl. And I don't want to go to the dark side to try to serve yours. I am not in the mood. No one's in the mood. Shout out to Saint for posting up Korean Babes YouTube channel. Also, we had Milk Bar video we featured. JWhit was up in here. He's a mod as well. I hope he posted up his YouTube channel link. So shout out to my brother in Christ, JWhit, my big bro, for coming in and supporting the channel. I appreciate it. And shout out to Korean Babes. And then Artie's Food, you guys, I watched this video earlier. I think yesterday I was able to catch his live. He's also a fantastic content creator. You got Storybox, you have Tinashe Peter, you have Cherie Denise. You know, they're fantastic content creators. Western KD, they're just keeping their foot on Candace's neck, and they should. MilkBarTV. Yes, keep it coming, Milk Bar. We love it. And then Yup 2.0 gifted 10 memberships. Oh my God. Thank you, Yuck. I appreciate it. Oh, what a blessing. You gifted like 40, 50 memberships so far. You're awesome. All of you guys are awesome. I appreciate it. It warms my heart to see this level of support. It really does. You guys, we're almost at 30,000 supporters. So make sure you share these videos. Feel free to send them out on Twitter X. Tag Candace in it and said, Lady Luck Club said kick rocks, girl. Yeah. Show proof that you got 2 degrees, anything. You know. So I appreciate you guys' support. I really, really do. It warms my heart. And more people are going to watch, you know, the replay. So if you do, make sure you put it on 1.5 speed. It's always funnier when it's on 1.5 speed. So we're going to end this out on the best positive, uplifting, encouraging video that I have. I love this song. This is our birthday theme song in the Lady Luck Club. And I want to give a shout out once again to Laura. Happy birthday to you. We thank you here for being a fantastic mod. To all my mods, I appreciate all of you. But when you guys have your birthdays, we celebrate you and we want to show our appreciation for you. So on your way out, you guys, check out the song. Say happy birthday to Laura. Show us some love. Let's get to it. And make sure you check the rewatch, the replay. Hit the thumbs up. Leave your comments in the comment section. Let's go. For you, Laura. Happy birthday, girl. Let's go.
Come in your altos. Hey.